unbelievable.
Look at us now, tip to
Ooh, Jesus.
Shout out to Morning Kombat.
Do you want a margarita? Yes! My God!
Come to us, doing what we love. It's time to bang. Oh, yeah, it's Monday morning. You got to get fired up for this. Morning Kombat back in your face hole. UFC 321 reaction here. It's October 27th of the 2025s. Let's do this thing. Brian Campbell live and direct from the greater Hartford suburbs. This man who joins us by way of Washington, D.C.
Warsh.
Even though they canceled his train home.
They canceled my train ride home.
Welcome to Manhattan and Meadowlark Studios, one Luke Thomas of Bang Energy Can fame. I mean, what flavor is that? Piss on your relatives?
This is Big Bang Zhang flavor. It's any means orange.
Yeah.
And then it says on top, any means possible. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that name.
That's
it's a little
very
controversial of a
you.
name.
Yeah, to start off on
It's
this.
full of vitamins and minerals, BC. It's
There
going to
it
keep
is.
me alive.
We're going to talk a lot about Aspinall getting probed. Mackenzie Dern climbing the mountain. A little talk as well about the box over the weekend when Fabio Wardley shocked the world. And a questionable stoppage against Joseph Parker. Of course, we'll go through your DMs. We'll go through my shit. Luke Thomas, first of all, people can like and subscribe. So why don't you put that on the screen? There you go. Thank you very much. Follow what we're doing on this show, in our lives, on our YouTube channels. LT, it was a weird-ass weekend of fights. Not what we ordered.
It was a weird card.
Not what we expected. Not what was intended. But were you entertained?
No. I mean, sort of. This is why the card was weird, right? Because it had it goes without saying, the ending of the main event was close to worst case scenario. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the co-main event was a fine fight, but rather pedestrian for a title fight. But then you have the Australian kid with the most unpronounceable name on the prelim card.
Oh, yeah, that's Long Island Luke's
Quillen,
boy.
is it? How do you say it?
Killed a man, I think is how you
Killed a
pronounce it.
Quillen Salkilled?
Salkilled, that's it. Who had maybe the best head kick KO I've seen in years in MMA. Truly, I mean that. So,
we saw Chris Barnett's ass a lot.
I got to look at Chris Barnett's butt cheeks. That's always a plus, I suppose.
By the way, I hear my shit is on fire. The only person I've talked about it is me, but I hear that the shit is going to be worth staying for.
Mirzakhanov had a nice win.
Yes.
But there was a bunch of fights on there that were like, the card was like, it would gather momentum and then die. And then gather momentum and then die.
It kind of reminds me of John Jones's phoner when he's wrestling with Hasbulla. Like sometimes he's rock hard.
You guys have told me he has a big old throbber when he's doing this. I have not seen this video. Is it? And have you seen this shit?
Yeah, you can't erase it from your memory banks once you see it.
Okay,
right?
so this is interesting. We're gonna.
the greatest of all time.
Okay, all right. This is what the show is about, really.
Let's say hi officially this time to the third member of our team. He's a producer, director, bong enthusiast, the son of an Australian, and the proprietor of the Main Card Minute podcast. Here's Luke Nocita of
He
Long
hates
Island.
gambling.
Oh, I love gambling. Everyone should gamble. Shout out Chauncey Billups. Shout out Terry Rozier.
Yeah. Shout out Derek Gainer. Is that the guy's name?
I don't know.
There's a third one. I forget his name, but yeah.
No, the MMA guys. Derek, who's the guy?
James Krause.
Yeah, but who's the other guy?
Derek Minor.
Derek Minor.
Minor, yeah.
Minor, sorry.
Or Minner?
Minner. Yeah, that's right. No, Brian Minor is the officiant.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Good weekend, guys. I thought the fights were pretty fun. Obviously, the card ended weird, but I felt like the prelims, they banged.
Bang's a strong word.
Well, we just talked about the explosive finishes.
This bangs.
That does bang.
Yeah, that does bang a little bit. Long Island Luke, you said you didn't drink 12 Bud Lights while podcasting this weekend. You only hit that BONG a few times. Why?
Because it was a day card. You know, I'm not really trying to get wasted during the day. You know,
right.
I like how he defines sobriety as just not having beer.
I did say to you guys,
He's like, I didn't want to get wasted. You were high.
I was, and you know. Maybe that's what made me think that Jandiroba won that fight. You know, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
He tried to talk both of us into
hold
that.
on. Let me tell you what it is, and obviously we're going to talk about it. I'll just say this up front as a teaser. The reason why you feel that way is because that was a winnable fight for her. And I'm not saying she fully gave it away because depending on what she would have done, who knows what the response would have been. But it could have been a lot closer than it actually was. That's what you. That's
Dana
what you
said they beat the shit out of each other. It was it wasn't a great fight, but it was sort of. There was there was some onus to it. They fought with
There
some
was
meaning.
a steady pace to the whole thing, and it was
Yeah.
25 minutes. They're both good. You're going to get a little brutality. But, you weren't watching the ascension of
No.
somebody just mowing through the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't happening right there. We'll get into all of that, of course. Right now, we'd like you to get into what
I went
we're
to
wearing.
hold on. I went to a. I don't have a. I'm not showing you anything. I'm just getting my nasal spray. But I went to a Halloween kids dance party.
Dude,
I took.
you and the kids' parties.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Jeffrey, please back away. All right, let's go.
Listen. I took my daughter. I was trying to be a good dad. She wanted to go. She went last year. She wanted to go to a kids' Halloween dance party. It actually was fun. They served adult beverages. I had a couple, if I can be honest with you.
Did you hit the vape by the car before walking?
No, not
in?
for that one. That one I did not. So I had a couple of beers. Oh no, I had two of their specialty cocktails. Met an MK donk there who also took his kid to the dance party, and he wanted to make sure I said it on air that he was a big fan. So there you go.
All right. Shout out to that big fan in your life right there.
Did he or did he not have sleeve tattoos?
3/4.
Fully sleeved.
Yeah. Do you think his ass cheeks? I mean, were you when you looked him up and down? Were you considering the fact that his ass cheeks were tatted?
Well, I just want to point out, you are the one that is including John Jones' boner footage today.
Yes,
this is
but
not my call.
That's relevant toward the arc of his story, particularly this arc. Yeah.
I didn't put it in there.
All right,
I had
all
no
right.
say over this.
Finally, what I'm trying to say is we'd like you, the viewer, to dress in our clothing over there at morningkombat.shop. The final days are upon us for the October exclusives. You've seen them. Now you can wear them right now. Get an autographed poster. Thank you to the fine artwork of one Average Joe of California fame. Shout out to that gentleman. Also, you can mix and match the color schemes. Get one for your family ahead of the holidays. We have some evergreen items as well on that website, morningkombat.shop. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Yeah. LT, what are you doing there?
Can I get a napkin, please?
What are they? What is it? The staff is your,
Well, I mean,
Is your bitch?
I can kill this microphone and get up and go. I can do that, but that's typically frowned upon.
Yo,
if you
Ken
do.
just left. Ken's like,
What did you do with your weekend that was so much better than a kid's Halloween dance party? Which, by the way, is a low bar to clear, but I'm guessing it might still be a challenge for
I
you.
accompanied my wife to the mall to begin Christmas shopping yesterday, which,
Before fucking Halloween?
I can't get into it, but yes.
Wow.
It was a brutal afternoon, but great weather. Great weather in Connecticut this weekend. Wow.
October. Say it out loud. Say it proud. October is the king of months.
Yeah, October bangs, right?
Thank you,
Thank you, Ken. Ken is on top of everything. You know what I'm saying?
New York City pimp.
Yeah. All right, let's watch Luke. What problems do you have? Sinus related?
Dude, I mean, I'm not meant for longevity. we all know this. I mean,
By the way, did you see that video of Islam making fun of Ali Abdelaziz because he hired a barber for a $200 haircut that just included shaving his head down to
I found a guy in DC. Ready for this?
200?
No, 50. I feel like that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Who pays $200 for a head shave?
A guy with a lot of money.
That's fair. That's a fair boy.
A guy with a lot of money.
Shout out to manager of the stars on that one.
Really, what
Yeah.
you're just paying for is whatever their hourly rate is, and that they come to your house. That's what he's
Yeah.
paying for. You know.
All
what I
right,
mean?
you got a new guy. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right.
He does not go to my house. I have to go to his place. But
That's how
well,
it
his
was meant
shop,
to be. What
but-
is this? 1859? What are we doing? What, he's going to deliver the milk on the way there? Too?
Hey, I watched a movie over the weekend with Tukster, and it was British, and the doctors kept coming to the house. She's like, "When do doctors come to the house?" I'm like, "Well, they kind of used to even here. They don't do that shit anymore."
No, they don't do that shit anymore. The only people that deliver anymore are whores. You know what I mean?
And the pizza guys.
Yeah, and pizza guys, they're the same breed. All right, enough of this absolute bullshit that you probably fast forwarded through anyway. But we're back. We're ready. Let's do it with topic number 1. You knew it already. UFC 321 from Abu Dhabi late Saturday afternoon, at least if you were watching on the East Coast. Not what we expected. We already laid that out ahead of time. Still a lot to talk about coming out of here from this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane first defense of the undisputed title for Tom, and it is a no contest. The first time in UFC history a title fight ends as a no contest to close a pay-per-view, of course. John Jones Daniel Cormier became one from UFC 214 when Jones failed the test, but no one wanted this ending, so let's just say it. Not only does the heavyweight division remain on ice as far as moving the title picture forward, but Tom Aspinall's insane bad luck really only continued when you consider the knee injury he came back from, the John Jones soap opera, the 15 months off heading into this fight. Now he had Ciryl Gane poking holes through both of his orifices, knuckle deep, at least on one of them. But it's also created some knee-jerk narratives from the idea that maybe Aspinall could have continued or should have from some tough guys. Also to the idea that it was Gane on his way to beating him. From what we saw in round one, it was only 4+ minutes of action. Either way, Gane succeeded in checking the prostate of Aspinall through that eye socket. And for a fight in which very little took place, Luke Thomas, what is the biggest takeaway for you? Because I see some saying Tom's a bitch. I see some saying Gane was on his way to becoming heavyweight champion. I see a lot of other people talking about how do we change this eye-poking culture. What do you come out of this fight with as the first and foremost thing we learned?
I mean, the problem is there's many really important ones. Just as a note, we were talking about this before the show. There's a lot of criticism when MMA media is not sufficiently reverential of fighters. But I think an episode like this goes to show you nobody is meaner to the fighters than, not all the fans, obviously, but a pretty noticeable section of them. And I don't think it's in any way accidental that we've got a rise of content creators who are also mean and nasty to the fighters. It's just very funny that like the fans pressuring media, who are the traditional media, who are the nicest ones of the entire group, to fighters to be nicer by the people who are actually meaner. Very funny. Okay. Putting that aside, this only magnified heavyweights' various but now intersecting problems. The event and the main event, BC, was designed to be something of a page turner.
Yes.
We can say goodbye to all of the problems where John Jones has it. He's not active. We've been over it a million times. But even more than that, Francis leaves. We hadn't had a UFC title defense at heavyweight by a sitting champion in literally years. Okay?
What, John Stipe?
No, long before that. Long before that. But
Well, John was sitting.
Francis gone.
Yeah.
Francis gone. That because John Stipe was for a vacant title. This is a title defense by a reigning champion.
No, John had already gotten the title against Gane. Then he missed a year plus due to injury. He defended against Stipe. But
I guess.
But the point being that it was still incomplete because Ngannou had walked away and Aspinall was the interim champ. So.
Yes. So the point I'm trying to make is we there was just a lot of problems that had been kind of lingering and themselves falling on top of each other. This event was designed, even if we got a Gane win, it wouldn't have mattered. It at least would have been a page turner to all of that. And instead, all it ended up doing was magnifying the various problems, because now you've got a case where the reigning champion had do you want to call it a poor showing? It wasn't a great showing. I mean,
the degree of whether it was his fault and how
it's so limited that you're a little bit couched in that.
We've
but
seen
it wasn't
a lot of
a great
fights where
showing.
somebody wins round one and then goes on to lose the rest of the way. But
100%.
But it was look at the very least, it piques more interest in the rematch. Even though the rematch is a headache for UFC and Dana White said it as much, it piques more interest.
Okay,
but
it does.
For Tom Aspinall, it's another disaster. And I got to be fair. Tom Aspinall posted in live streams from his doctor's visit this morning. I know the intention that he tried to do. It doesn't help him. It doesn't make him look good. And I'm not one of these people that's saying he's a quitter. I'm just saying if you're already on that side of the line, he's giving you more ammo of things that should be behind the curtain, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's just finish the point, though. But now what it ends up doing is, because it left such a dissatisfying taste in everyone's mouth, it brings more scrutiny onto the division.
Yes.
And in which case, and this isn't, again, I want to be clear about this. This is not an exclusive issue to UFC by any stretch of the imagination. It used to be the case where you could say, well, Pride had a better heavyweight division than UFC, but then they merged, and of course the whole thing in general got a lot better. This is a case where you're looking around, you're saying, who else could you even add to this division to make a difference? You're still stuck in the same gear you were in prior to 321 about getting some kind of resolution to this last chapter. It is unfortunate, and we can talk about ways it could have gone or should have gone, but my biggest takeaway is, BC, this was supposed to be goodbye, and it was simply a reintroduction.
Yeah. And if Aspinall would have come through with the win, which we obviously don't know what would have happened, it's bringing some level of intrigue to the rematch, it at least would have hopefully answered some of the questions more that we had about Tom, despite his great success, and maybe pushed Tom over for all the people that said, hey, maybe I'm not a hardcore MMA fan these days, but who's this guy that forced John Jones to walk away? Well, we saw that guy, and that guy had a bloody nose and 2 fingers into his orifice. We can't show the video, of course, but let's just look at the still picture just to see what we're up against.
Yeah, not great.
So you can see the left eye of Tom, which is on the right side of the screen. That's the one where the finger went literally knuckle deep. He wasn't joking when he was complaining about being booed. but it seems to be his right eye is the one that created more damage. He's wearing a bandage over his right eye during the hospital visit that he put on social media early this morning.
I have a theory about that.
I mean, dude, that's legit. That's freaking legit.
Yeah, I have a theory about that. The one that went in further, it almost went just straight, whereas the one on his right, it did not appear anyway, to go as deep, but it swiped.
Yes.
And I wonder if that action of going, laterally scratched it in some kind of way.
We got a quick, this was Daniel Cormier cage side after the pay-per-view ended, after he had ran into Aspinall, just to set the stage of what it was like there at the scene right after this foul.
I saw Tom Aspinall. His right eye is covered in a bandage because he cannot open it still. We're 20 minutes past the fight ending. And what's crazy about that is his other eye was the one where his hand went knuckle deep. The right side was scraped down more. The left side was the one that went knuckle deep and really would have been hard to deal with if not for the pain he was seeing on the other side. Tom was very upset that people were booing. And then people saw the replay and were like, wait a minute, maybe we should be booing the other guy. Then they booed Ciryl Gane.
So, Luke, I have to say I'm more, just to begin with, on DC side. It's obviously the worst case scenario that a fight would end without us capitalizing on the opportunity to move the division along and learn things. But I don't see how you can watch the slow-mo of what Tom went through and then take the aggressive stance that a loud minority is starting to take. And it's not just keyboard warriors, right? It's legitimate fighters with legitimate backgrounds. So this has got a little bit serious enough where we did have to bring in our friends from Cuervo to serve it, to settle this with a little something that we call shots fired. And Shots Fired is brought to you by Cuervo. Now is a good time to enjoy the tequila that invented tequila. Luke, we have Anthony Smith and Chael Sonnen, two former title challengers, legit badasses.
This turned out to be quite controversial.
It did, but here are they on the ESPN post-game show taking a stance that some fans maybe that bet and didn't cash in took online, but not a lot of fighters, though, were dunking on Tom, but maybe not to this degree. Let's listen.
In fact, his legacy, his fault or not.
Well, don't be mad at me. You had a job to do, and you, for whatever reason, you guys did whatever you did, and you didn't do your job. I'm not saying it's Tom's fault, and I'm not gonna, pretend that I know how bad it is or isn't. I think Chael made a poetic point that you have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. Everyone talks about it all the time, where the ladies waving stuff in front of my eyes. I can't see it. So what do? I just walk away and say, let's fight. You just you either want to or you don't. And my fight wasn't for a world title. I didn't have Ciryl Gane in front of me throwing bombs. But the second that there was an issue, I knew that I wanted to continue, so I know what to say. You never say, I can't see, if you want to continue to fight. So when they ask the question, you just nod your head and you just walk away. You find a way to get away from the doctor. If you want to fight, you can fight.
My trainer, Coach Clayton, when we'd be practicing, every now and then he would yell out to the whole room, close your left eye. And then he'd open your left eye, close your right eye later. He'd say, don't breathe through your nose anymore, breathe through your mouth. And the idea was if your eye gets swollen and it gets shut, or if your nose gets clogged and you can't breathe, that you're kind of used to these things. Tom said something, and look, we got to dwell on a guy in a really bad moment, but to dwell on him, he said, I got poked in the eye, I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, we have a totally different conversation. If you get poked in the eye and you can't see, generally in our sport, that's just something.
Sounded like James Caan's speech in the movie The Program, the college football one. You're either hurt, you're injured. But Luke, it's one thing. Look, DC poked the shit out of Stipe in their title fight. DC's been poked really badly in big fights. It's one thing if one eye gets affected. Dude, this is straight up both of them. Is this a acceptable stance from ex-fighters to say, sorry, you got to fight through that? Anything can happen.
I would imagine on some level, I think there's probably a little something to it for sure. I mean, they're right? You're going to have circumstances where it could be the first punch of the night, right? You get a jab and it breaks your nose. And now what are you going to do?
But that is a legal shot.
Understanding, but it's you might have 10 fights in your career, let's say, and your 11th fight, someone breaks your nose. And now where are you? You're in a place where you have to adjust to a reality, or you could get hit with something and your vision is obstructed. It's a legal punch. And now you have to just kind of adapt to a situation if you want to win. That is clearly true. To me, that is, I think it is important to be able to say, if you're a fighter, you have the physical durability and the mental fortitude in very difficult and sometimes, let's just call it unfair circumstances to persevere just by sheer will alone. I can appreciate that instinct and the ability to do that. However, I just feel like we're talking about a somewhat different circumstance here.
It's not a regular fight night. This is the heavyweight championship when you've been forced to sit out for 15 months.
Yeah. I
and
mean,
then you
the fight that Smith is referencing is a fight against Ryan Spann. He won via split decision, and credit to him, that was a tough thing to do. But the stakes and the difficulty of the opponent are nowhere near a heavyweight title fight, even as we granted the division is somewhat diminished. More to the point, like, I'll be honest with you, if you can't actually see and you're in a UFC title fight, it is irrational to keep going. Could you show your toughness if you really wanted to as a way to gut through and maybe get a win? Yeah, of course it is. But like, if someone told you at the beginning of the fight, we're going to cover your eye and now you have to compete, and by the way, a reason we're going to cover it is because someone fouled you and now you have to deal with these circumstances, this is not something anyone would ever agree to. This is, you got someone, again, we could talk about the intentionality of it and to what extent that is relevant. I'm pointing out the stakes are too high. The give up is too much. It is irrational to keep going in a situation of this magnitude with this kind of injury. I'm going to take him at his word about the severity. Sure. If you want to have the highest level of excellence in the sport, we should make a point here. I don't think Tom Aspinall quit. I don't want to be clear. I don't think he did that. But I got to be honest, like, even if he did, so what? Hear me out on this. George St. Pierre, these are all different circumstances, meaningfully different. But George St. Pierre, when he got bodied by Matt Serra in their first fight, he tapped to strikes. People think it was a TKO stoppage because if you don't notice it, he leans over and taps the mat and calls it a day. Like, this idea that this inherently makes you a quitter for all time clearly is not true. There's really no evidence to show, certainly in his further career, that ended up being a thing. More to the point, he saved himself from further damage in a situation. Now, that was different because that fight was already lost and wasn't a foul. But I'm pointing out, people surrender in MMA all the time for reasons that are, to varying degrees, strategic. I don't think Tom did that. But even if he did, under the fouling circumstance, it's not a big departure from other instances of surrender that we just take as a given.
I got you. Also, it was both eyes. And I get when Anthony Smith is saying, you'll find a way to let them believe that you can see and continue. But what if you literally can't see? I wonder if Ciryl Gane did not have the success he had, and shout out to Ciryl Gane, because come the day before the fight, all of us that make predictions for whatever they're worth, we're like, I just can't talk myself into Gane even going the distance here. Gane put that on his shoulders, fought very well, bloodied the nose of Tom. Luke, if he had not had that success, would we hear the same people leaning towards the quit angle here? If Tom wasn't, because I see people saying, before the eye poke, you could see he's breathing out of his mouth. He's gassed. He didn't expect Gane to be this good. Whether that's all true or not, the fact that it's there, I think gives people the liberty and luxury to lean toward the, oh, come on, he quit line.
Yeah, I would say there's just no denying the fact that Gane, relative to expectations, overperformed, clearly has made the situation worse, right? In terms of the perception anyway. Gane was doing well. And to your point, blooded up his nose. The jab was landing. He actually landed a couple of lead hooks off on that open stance. He looked good.
And he was bigger, too. Did you notice
he was bigger. He was moving fluidly. His takedown defense looked good. Although I went back and I watched the takedown attempt. It wasn't a super,
right.
He didn't.
Tom flashed the takedown, but he didn't commit.
Yeah. He didn't it wasn't the best effort he ever gave. But the point is, you're asking a question, did the way in which Gane performed, again, and I'm going to add that little nuance, especially relative to expectations, is that affecting some of the post-fight narrative? There's just no question in my mind.
I think it's unfair, though. Overall, I think it's unfair. It's 2 fingers in the eye. It's early in the fight. There's a lot of things going on here. And I think you have to take into account the story that Tom had up to this point. Having to wait to prove himself. All this stuff. It was like all this shit was against him. I don't know. Title fights are different. I don't know, like when you're taking away, man can't see, can't fight. Terry Silver taught us that in Karate Kid part.
Yeah, that's true.
Quicksilver method.
But the other part too is it also robs Tom to a degree here, because let's say Gane wins the first round. The round was almost over. Fine, but then Tom finds a way to start building momentum in round 2, and then gets a stoppage in round 3. This would have been a triumphant moment for him. It is robbed from him, and now you've got. I don't know what the number is, but there's enough of a vocal, whether it's a minority or majority, of people saying, hey, Tom quit, Tom's this, that,
A lot
and the
of
other.
a lot of pro fighters coming out and saying
Yeah, I understand. Again, I understand them trying to police the ranks around toughness to a degree. Again, to a degree, I understand that. But I'm just pointing out, you've got all of this pressure, whoever it's coming from, raining down on Tom. And to your point now he seems to, maybe he's overcompensating to a degree, like with the kind of medical validation.
Dude, he should not be showing a full video of his hospital breakdown, a full video of trying to talk to the doctor and say, should this fight have been stopped? That should not be shown publicly. I don't even think the argument Tom and his dad made during that video of like, look, the fight should have been a DQ. The ref had warned him. There's a whole separate discussion, and I hope we have time to have it, about how you change this moving forward. But I think that just looks bad when people are already saying stuff about you, and then you come out and be like, well, he should have been disqualified anyway. Either way, everything is seemingly against Tom, including Dana White's reaction, which brings another conspiratorial angle. Let's first listen to the UFC CEO when asked about this debacle.
I said earlier, because of the John Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. But I feel like, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up. And, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Luke, what he said looks worse on paper because it looks like he's dunking on him. Most people, when watching the video, still think he's being dunked on. Is it right to connect a conspiratorial dot to this, to the idea of what Tom's father and manager, Andy Aspinall, had been saying publicly about once 2 more fights are done and our UFC contract's up, we're going to professional boxing? Did that play a factor in Dana choosing the verbiage of Tom chose not to continue, even though technically he did choose not to continue?
I wasn't big on the idea that there would have been some kind of conspiracy before, and I got to tell you, that comment, I got questions. I mean, for example, we were wondering why Dana White spent, a long time being a media surrogate, it seemed like, for John Jones as like this unstoppable destroyer, even at times where there was at least some reason to question that, or even why he would go so heavily
pound for pound number one.
Yeah, like there was these big long soliloquies about like why John Jones
was a lot of
I mean, it was like the Hasbullah video apparently, which I've not seen yet, but anyway, you get my point. Like, so you add in that, but then you add on the other side Tom's dad, not exactly stating super pro UFC talking points. I think is
but he's angry that what they've done to his boy by enabling John Jones, to be fair.
All right, so I mean, I would say that, like, if you have questions about, how do we say this? Whether there's friction between the Aspinall side of things and the UFC side of things, there's good reason to believe that. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, dude, who are you making these, if you're Tom Aspinall, who are you making these decisions for? Because if you felt like you couldn't see, and against a pinpoint striker like Gane, certainly he was on point that night, you could have risked it and then gotten stopped, and now who knows what they would have done with you in terms of getting another title shot. It seems likely that Aspinall would beat just about everybody else to get one back, but we've talked about this. Just because, like, once you get separated from the title, it's very hard to get back to it. You can do all that, and then you can please these other people, and they'll call you a hero, and they'll call you warrior. You know what they won't call you? Champion, because you will have lost it at that point. You have to make a decision. Whose interests do I have to protect here? The ones that make the public and or the other fighters and or the UFC happy, or the ones that I feel like are important for my career? You just have to make a choice there, and you're not going to get unanimity of response as a consequence.
Ultimately, I think 2 things can be true. Tom, the way Tom handled it, at least inside the cage, is completely justified. But all of the other things we're talking about is only adding to the fuel of the opposite point of view of did he tank here? Whatever. I think it's fair to give him the benefit of the doubt. But some of this stuff is piling up. Long Island Luke, where do you weigh in on this? You're going to go the tough guy route and say this guy should have kept fighting, or what?
No, I don't blame him at all for not fighting. I mean, we saw the replay. It was brutal. Both eyes too. Like, he's not even complaining about the one that looked way worse.
That's a violation.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. It was a bummer, obviously, but I can't complain.
Our regular Luke.
Yes.
Do we owe Ciryl Gane an apology for how much we counted them out, or did the last 5 fights and the 2 title losses, did those all speak for themselves? Like, like, congratulations, you came out round 1, you look like a champion. But, like, did we have a right to ultimately give him no chance, which a lot of people were?
So it's funny. Early on in Ciryl Gane's run in UFC, I was really excited about him as a prospect.
You called it. You said that man will be champion.
Yeah, I did, and I lost a lot of faith along the way after the Ngannou fight, and then after other ones too, the Volkov fight. And I just felt like, okay, Tom's going to be too quick and he's going to have an answer for this guy. But Gane, when he's on, and there's a question about, there was plenty of reason to doubt Gane. However, did Gane show that our skepticism was a little bit oversold? I think we have to admit that it was. We have to.
But
didn't Well, I mean,
we just don't know what would have happened next. But to that degree, if this is the only footage we have, and it is, Gane looked really good. He looked mentally tough. He looked like he was dialed in. Like, there's some parts of his demeanor in an interview or in the fight where sometimes you question if he's everything he needs to be. He looked like he was everything he needed to be.
I think nothing tells the story of how much Gane was slept on than the odds heading into this fight were minus 350 for Tom, and now they're minus 180.
That changed quick.
Swallowed the gap.
Yes.
You got to give, dude, when we're right about guys, it's great. But when we're wrong about guys too, it's not that I didn't think Gane at one point would mature into a guy who could do something like this. I just thought he was making enough errors along the way that it wasn't going to happen. And then with the biggest stakes, and you know what? Dean Thomas was talking about this, that like when he fought John Jones, Gane just wasn't ready for that level of size of a bout, of the stakes, of the grandeur of it, and he kind of collapsed in on himself. And again, I saw a video of people comparing Tom's takedown failing against Gane to John's, and I'm like, dude, they were very different. Gane switches stance overthrowing, and then John just gets under it and then body locks from behind. Dude, your terrible decision to throw that punch. Whereas Gane didn't throw anything. He was just waiting. And of course, if you're just waiting to stop a takedown, it's going to be a lot easier to stop a takedown. But the point is, do I think Gane learned a lot from that experience based on what we saw in round 1 here? And I wasn't sure he was going to. Yes, he did. We have to be honest. I didn't think he was going to. I thought he could make it close at times. I didn't think he was going to bust up Tom the way that he did.
Yeah.
And he absolutely did.
That step in left cross, the short one was perfect. The jab was on point. You give him a lot of credit. Still, we don't know what it would have looked like. So before we talk about the future and when you reschedule this and all of that, look, it wasn't the referee's fault that this happened. And look, we have to say, overall, the referees had a great night. There definitely were internal
referees
conversations.
had the best night, the whole best night.
There definitely were internal conversations, whether that's the Association of Boxing Commissions, whether that is the UFC getting involved, about the quickness, not just of warnings, but of points. Points were dropping all night for grabbing the fence, for doing everything. But Luke Thomas, I think the same thing we complain about all the time is still true. I'm not saying UFC has to go to the old pride gloves or whatever. I think they have to enforce eye poking to get it so that it's such a penalty against you, whether that's an initial point, if it's a graze or not, just an initial point. Because how do you retrain the fighters to not do this anymore instead of doing this? Michael Bisping had a great video about that. He's like, it's easy. Train them to do this with a fist and take away something. Jim Miller posted a video and said, if you take from their purse when they land eye pokes, that will retrain them in training not to do this anymore. Is that accurate in your eyes? Either the threat of the point or the purse or something, like a legitimate penalty that even if it's just a grazing, hey, I extended my fingers, I put myself in that position.
I think that you absolutely, okay, here's just my view, and we can decide how you want to talk about it. My view is there are 2 basic ways to make headway in reducing the amount of eye pokes. Number 1, we should just state as a basic premise, there's no way to eliminate them. It's not possible. You will always have on some level a degree of eye pokes.
Just like headbutting. Same thing.
Just like headbutting.
Like, when you're done.
But headbutting is, to your point, so infrequent that it's not a scourge on the fight
it's
team.
a constant thing. It's like
Okay, but it's different in boxing, right? Where you're just so close to each other, and if you have open stance, it's a nightmare in those situations. In MMA, it's not nearly as problematic. But that's what I would like to turn it into. I would like to turn it into something like that. The point I'm trying to make is there's 2 ways to meaningfully reduce what we have. Number 1 is the one you're talking about here. There has to be stronger enforcement of penalties. And to the point you raise, Mark Goddard was the MVP of UFC 321. He was not fucking around.
Yes.
And show me one instance of him enforcing the rules that demonstrably looked unfair and or made the fight worse, you can't do it. Also, what's the other guy's name? Mitch Richmond? What was the other guy's name?
Mitch Rich, they called him.
Rich Mitchell? Something like that?
Yeah,
Rich
Mitchell.
Yes. He also, for that blatant fence grab, he got involved. But that's one. You have to be more Johnny on the spot. The referees have decided, not last night, or excuse me, Saturday night, the referees decided, absolutely, we're going to get involved, but that is an exception to the rule. They've tried to make themselves invisible. Well, congratulations, you're fucking invisible. But BC, they need to fix the gloves. And I know this is a ridiculous kind of point that people make all the time. I did look into this. Can I tell you what I found?
Yes. Did you find Trevor Whitman at the end of this?
Well, yes and no. There are a lot of claims made about glove design, and I can tell you that the claims relative to what has been studied to prove or disprove them is very limited. But we do know something, okay? Here's what we know. In 2022, the Association of Ringside Physicians commissioned a study to look at UFC, Bellator, and PFL gloves at that time to look at the incident rate of eye pokes. And what they found was that the Bellator Power Lock glove, which, by the way, was introduced in his last year at Bellator by then promoter Bjorn Rebney, it changed the foam inside.
Sure.
It wasn't just a glove geometry issue, but it curved the gloves. And what they found was that it had a statistically significantly lower incident rate to the point where they now recommended any kind of glove that has curvature around the knuckles. You might note the Pride glove also, Ryzen, same.
And there was a lot of side-by-side pictures on the internet of this, and it showed.
I'll wrap up. Trevor Whitman has a system called the Onyx system, which curves the fingertips to a degree. The point is, the Trevor system, the Pride gloves, those have not actually been studied. But the Bellator Power Lock glove has been studied, and just last month, September of 2025, the Association of Ringside Physicians, the dominant medical board in the entire sport, recommended curved gloves to minimize the amount of injuries. It feels like to me, BC, everyone is either in one camp or the other. They want a technological change or a rule change. And my attitude is, how about a little bit of both to really stomp the shit out?
That would be the smart way to do it. But don't forget, Bjorn had MMA union entanglements at one point. So, they're never going to approve a glove that he was part of. Kind of half kidding. My larger point is Jim Miller had a great video where he put on the UFC glove and basically said, it's not forcing my fingers out. That's because of in-trained Muay Thai, or he called it the response to like the bitch reaction inside of you. But he even said, Luke, you take away the point or the purse, people are automatically going to adjust. It seems like it's that simple. Can we take the steps so we can avoid this happening again? All right, Luke, the future. It's obviously going to depend on how quickly Aspinall can come back. Dana confirmed they want to run it back. They should run it back. Is this not a horrible scenario? What if it gives you another main event? So maybe it's not a horrible scenario. What if they ran this back in, say, March, and then were able to promote a John Jones versus Poatan non-title attraction at the White House in June as the winner fights for the undisputed championship? They could win out if it goes this way. The reason why I bring that up was the little back and forth on Twitter between Pereira and John Jones. Pereira first saying, let's make the heavyweight division great again. He also posted a video of him watching it live. And then John Jones responded with, Alex, I'd be down to bring the highest skill level to the White House. I appreciate the respect you showed. Let's dance. Hey, by the way, Tom Aspinall once showed respect when he called out John too, but that wasn't good enough. Luke, do you feel like this result, because if Tom would have won and called out either Gane or Jones, you could wonder whether he could have forced his way into the White House. Does this eye poke guarantee that in your eyes that we end up seeing Jones Pereira at the White House? And could we get it guaranteed on paper that the winner will fight the winner of Aspinall Gane? Because then you got a mini tournament with the biggest names possible.
The second part is impossible to say, because if John wins, does he fight again? Does he want to fight Tom Aspinall again? What if they rebook Aspinall Gane, let's say, for the January pay-per-view, PLE, whatever we're going to end up calling it, the Paramount era. And what if Aspinall goes in there and just bludgeons Gane?
That's why I think you push it off to like March, because he's going to need time for that thing to heal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see what the medical timeline looks like. But I just feel like trying to set up a tournament where we're talking about guys actively invested in the beyond.
After John just F them?
I just
fucked them after 2 years?
think that's so premature.
Yeah.
We just can't really get there. It would be nice. I mean, to your point, it would solve a lot of problems.
What'd you
But
make of John's trolling, putting the duck with the eye patch as his
I don't.
avatar?
I mean, listen, I just don't care what he says
Okay.
about anything.
What if he decided to talk to you about his 20s finally?
At this point, brother, I don't even care.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Wild,
You
wild
don't see me
events.
beating down his door for an interview, do you?
Wild turn of events. Wow. But now's a good time to remember something else, folks. Put the camera on me. Yeah, now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. I'll tell you, 1795, Cuervo invented tequila. Not bad, right? Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land. You better believe it, the same passion. 230 years later, Cuervo's still right here. In every pour, in every margarita, in every celebration. So enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo. The tequila that invented tequila. ProximoCuervo.com. Please drink responsibly. Luke, we are going to get Cuervo back in the building for our UFC 322 pregame preview that's coming up during fight week ahead of this big, was that November 22nd?
I'll look that up.
Something
15th,
like that? 15th. November 15th is the fight card, Saturday
Yes.
night, Madison Square Garden. So that week, which is not that far away, we could be having a fun round here with Cuervo.
Yeah.
11 a.m. You, me, and mystery guest. Wild card
Mystery guest who I can tell you up front is probably riddled with STDs.
Would you say this mystery guest was already planning on day drinking anyway? So this is just like,
If he wasn't planning on doing day drinking, he was definitely going to be doing meth.
okay, that was
Yeah.
a quick escalation.
I mean, he was gonna. He has the same definition of sober that this guy does.
Yeah, so good stuff right there. All right, let's keep it going. A lot more to talk about on this fight card. Let's go to topic number 2. UFC 321's co-main event brought an opportunity for the women's strawweight division to start a new chapter, a new era, or will it? Depending, I guess, on what happens on Wong against Shevchenko later this month. But instead, it was Mackenzie Dern's night, fulfilling her potential by claiming that vacant 115-pound title with a unanimous decision win over Virna Jandiroba in their rematch. Luke, it took years of personal perseverance for Dern through multiple defeats, setbacks both in and out of the cage. It probably didn't hurt that Zhang Weili vacated her title or opened up this window, but Dern is finally a UFC champion. What was the major difference in your eyes between the version of Dern we saw on Saturday night and the one that had lost 4 of her last 8 heading in? Because it's just her 3rd win in a row. We give her that credit, but it did seem like a different Dern on Saturday, or did it? What do you?
I'd say a modestly different version. I somewhat challenge the premise of the question.
There is a challenge, and the challenge is if Weili doesn't give it up.
There's no way Weili Zhang doesn't beat the fuck out of both of them.
True, but I guess it's a better question. Would any other champion in strawweight history have had a problem with either one of those 2 fighters on Saturday night?
Dude, I think a prime Joanna beats the fuck out of both of them too.
Some people want Joanna to get back in there at 38 to try to get that back.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, she took a lot of damage towards the end of her career, but
we're dunking on
prime
Dern
Joanna?
here. We're dunking on Dern here because of the division's history, reputation.
I'm not dunking on her. I'm simply saying, like, here's the problem with that title fight win. Dern did everything she could, I think, given her abilities. She did everything she could, I think, relatively speaking.
The jab was there. The boxing
jab
was
there, and I thought some of her movement was better as well. In and out of pocket was better.
No defense, though. No defense.
Much better defense than the first fight. No, much better defense than the first fight.
I don't think there was defense, but that.
Yeah, okay, well, fair point. But at least she had some this time. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I hate this kind of shit, right? Where someone wins a UFC title and you're talking about all the reasons why it shouldn't be this way. But the reality is, if Zhang Weili was still there, just no way she gets it. And more to the point, BC, like, there's always debates about, like, in a linear reflection of all the champions in a weight class, hey, who's the best one ever in the weight class? It's a standard kind of question. But there's typically some level of escalation that makes you want to say it.
She never had those in-between fights against the former champions.
Yeah,
She got knocked out by Andrade.
And more to the point, you can go back 10 years or something, look at Joanna's reign, and you're like, dude, Joanna a prime Joanna would smoke Mackenzie Dern. I wouldn't even be very competitive, I don't think.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz might, too.
I don't know about that. That's a little different. But certainly prime Joanna, I think, would handle. So you were just, or maybe prime Rose, too, to a degree. And you just kind of wonder, it's like, dude, this division does not appear to be, the things don't appear to be escalating in that way. Did Dern get better? Yes. Did she deserve to be the winner on Saturday night? No question in my mind. 3-2-4-1 was exactly the right scorecard. So it's not a question of, like, given the circumstances, was she deserving? Yes. And it is nice that you finally have someone, first fighter ever, wins ADCC gold, IBJJF World
Show the
Championship,
tweet.
and a UFC title. I think it was my friend Oven. Was it Oven who put this? Do we have
Oven
it?
St. Pure.
No, Guillermo Cruz, excuse me. Mackenzie Dern's the first woman to win the IBJJF World Championship, ADCC gold, and a UFC title. This is cool, man. This is a
That's
cool
not
moment.
bad.
So it's not like she's some, terrible, she can't do anything.
Show
But-
the wholesome moment too before Luke changes his point here. At age 32, daughter Moa there. Like you're,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
a
that's
hashtag
great.
girl dad like
Yeah,
the late
that's
Kobe
amazing.
Bryant, Luke. That's pretty incredible.
This is amazing. This is an amazing moment for the both of them, and I certainly applaud the resilience. Dude, if you can say one thing about Mackenzie Dern, she has been incredibly resilient.
That's the story of her winning.
That's the story. The story is not that she's such a powerhouse of skill and ability that she is changing the way we look at the weight class or something, or dominating in historically interesting ways. No, but she fucking has a dog in her that allows her to stay in these relevant positions, keep swinging the axe, and sure enough, she did it long enough where this finally befell her. She's deserving of this. I'm just not going to call it historically excellent.
I have to say that too. I mean, it took this great division, which has been the deepest of the women's division since starting. That's 115 in late 2014. It's on rough times. That's just the accurate truth of where it's at right there. But given the opportunity, I picked against Dern because I thought ultimately she would make a key mistake or would not fold, because physically she's there. She's going to go for it. But I got to give her credit within the context of this matchup. The rematch with Jandiroba, the jab was there, the poise was there, the boxing was there. And I think ultimately, Luke, this is a step down from the championship level strawweight fighting we've seen in the past. But I don't think it was as bad as like that Rocky Pennington Bueno Silva fight. That did not look like elite MMA.
Nothing like that.
So I'll give her the credit within the context. Do you think this ultimately went her way, not just because she had the heavier punches, and it was good to see Jason Perillo in her corner and them vibing and connecting, but Jandiroba had ease taking down Dern with ease, but couldn't do enough in top position to really warrant it.
I hated this fight from Virna Jandiroba. I hated
Two snaps up or down?
her performance. Hated it.
Yeah. All you guys with old balls
You
know that
have
one.
no idea where that comes. Do you have any idea where that reference comes from?
Martin?
Not a bad guess, but
Close.
no.
Same network.
In living color. Okay. BC. She got 9 takedowns. Okay, so she had a higher than a 50% success rate on 17
She did more with him
attempts.
than Jalton Almeida did. Okay, she did. You got to give her that.
He did nothing.
Yeah. Thank you.
She only engaged in hammer fisting
Yeah.
rather than any kind of meaningful ground and pound. You asked, what did Mackenzie Dern do right? Whatever else you want to say about her, she seeks offense everywhere.
Yes.
You put her on her back, it's offense right away. She's elbowing, the guard is in play, she's setting up grips, you know what I mean? And you have to play around that, and on the feet, she certainly was doing the one.
She's trying to win the fight the whole time.
She's trying to win. That's what I'm saying, dude. She's got a perseverant dog inside of her, and that's why she wins. But Jandiroba, to get that fucking takedown over and over and over again, not throw elbows, and yet in the clinch standing, throwing elbows, and in other circumstances, throwing elbows, not in the most important kind. Dude, Charles Oliveira, what happens when he starts playing games underneath from guard? Guys either try to get away, but if they stay, they fucking hammer him.
Yes.
Because they make him pay for that open style. She did none of that. To the point, BC, this is what drives me nuts. If I went and saw a regional MMA show and I saw that, well, that's just regional MMA. You got guys who are new enough where you're just like, they don't have the skills yet to do this. She has, this was her 26th professional MMA fight, black belt jiu-jitsu. You're 37 fucking years old. You are not going to be back here if you lose.
She showed toughness, but that's about it.
The problem is not that she's not skilled. This is my point. It is fucking unforgivable at age 37 in a UFC title fight to either not ground and pound because reasons, I don't want to give up position and lose the fight. You fucking lost anyway.
Well,
hold on.
She's facing a BJJ expert, so that had to be part of the
What
mindset.
is the choice here?
I
The
get it,
conservative game plan she went in sealed her fate. And more to the point, what's the other explanation? I see it enough now where I'm like, do the fighters and their coaches actually think you can get 9 takedowns with, I think like 15 minutes of control time, some absurd amount of control time, but not throw ground and pound and win fights?
No submission attempts.
No submission attempts? Hello, newsflash. You cannot. You cannot. Either you chose a conservative game plan that you that you knew was conservative because that's what you wanted to do, or you thought being conservative was actually like a thing that the rules wouldn't punish. In either case, terrible decision. Terrible. It drove me nuts to watch this shit.
I also think she could have stepped on the gas more. I mean, look, she got to carry out 5 grand stamina, but this is the championship level. I don't think she was offensive enough. She had some success with her counter striking. I think if she would have stepped on the gas more, yes, she would have taken some big right hands, but she didn't do enough to try to make Dern uncomfortable. It was more in her eyes about the control time and all that. So it sucks. Is this going too far? Henry Cejudo celebrating the accomplishments of Dern. Mackenzie Dern is the greatest female combat sports athlete of all time. Holly Holm on line 1, but is there an argument here, Luke?
You don't need a dash between all and time unless all time is describing a noun.
Okay, but that's not first and
I just
foremost.
want to be just for everyone out there. All time only needs the dash in between if you're talking about like all time fighter.
He's
so
focused more on the fart machines. We know this.
So all time
yeah.
fart box.
Fart box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all time only needs the dash in between if it's acting as a modifier in some kind of way.
Thank
for,
you,
for
community
a noun.
college professor. It's not your fault.
I need patches on my sleeves.
Yeah, you do.
No, I think that's a little silly.
Okay, but we're not taking. But shout out to Dern.
However,
shout out to Dern.
However, is she, does the history that she represents and like the story and what she's accomplished, is this interesting and relevant and obviously a very big accomplishment to do all of this? There's simply no question.
Was that her mom cage side who ran in the cage after?
I saw a video of her mom celebrating, but the one I saw was she was still in the stands.
We almost never hear anything about her. We obviously know a lot about her legendary
Diaz,
father, but good to see in that moment right there. Let's talk about what could be next for Dern. Here's Mackenzie talking about the landscape of the division.
You said now you have a target on your back. You had mentioned Tatiana Suarez as a possible first challenger. Is that the name you want, or are you just going to let the UFC kind of figure it out?
I mean, I don't know how much say I have in being a champion now. You know what I mean? I don't know how much my word and my decisions get into play, but I'm here to defend it. So whoever gets sent to me, I'll be ready for it. So I don't know Weili, but I would definitely like to just fight Tatiana. I think maybe if she gets one more fight in, but yeah, I want to get it. I want to have a.
Long Island Luke and I were talking about this beforehand because there is an argument to make of like, how far can Dern's star go now that she's the champion? She's very marketable, etc. I'd love to see her against Tatiana Suarez. The ground battle could be fantastic. They're both very game. It could be a heck of a fight. If Zhang Weili loses to Valentina at UFC 322, is there a world where Dern makes a title defense next? Let's say it's Suarez. Let's say she wins. And then Weili comes back down after a competitive loss. And we're all going to favor Weili like we should. But is that a big fight? Will people care about that? Well, has this woken up some attention and buzz for women's MMA or no?
No. No.
All right.
I don't know what the evidence for that would be.
Do you think Weili comes down with a loss or not?
That's a more interesting question. Because if she does, this is a tough fight for anybody.
Long Island Luke likes the idea of Rose cutting to 115 one more time.
Someone brought that up on my post-fight chat as well.
There's some Joanna talk as well.
Why do you like that one so much?
I just feel like Rose is kind of in no man's land at 25, and like BC was saying, strawweight right now just feels so weak. And there's like, yeah, sure, you could do the Tatiana fight. I have zero interest in that right now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Tatiana, her last 2 fights been very underwhelming, and I just feel like Rose is at least like, oh, Rose Dern, I could get behind that,
I mean, that's a matchup that never happened and could have, or maybe should have,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, golly, dude. Honestly, unfortunately, the main and co-main were heavyweight and women's strawweight. These 2 divisions are 2 of the most in disrepair.
Yes.
And I think some of that was shown to us. This was kind of the problem
And
with
by
the
the way,
event.
there's no one coming up. And and Suarez isn't coming up. She just lost a title opportunity, but
Yeah.
we still physically consider her elite. There's like no one else. Everybody else is a retread. Everyone else is Andrade. Who else are we missing here? Yan Xiaonan.
Lupi Godinez. Tabitha Ricci.
Yeah.
She's like a win away.
Lupi is an interesting one. If
I
she
guess
can...
Ricci's got a
Lupi
little
already
bit of buzz.
Dern and Lupi fought like 2 fights ago. Dern beat her, so it's like
Okay, but that doesn't preclude her from getting a title shot. That's a little different.
it's just like, why do we've already seen it, and it was recent. It was like 2024. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to
Yeah,
see
this is not the highest elite times for this division.
Yeah, I'm looking
That
at
can't be said
I'm looking
enough.
at the rankings here. Tatiana, Yan Xiaonan, Amanda Lemos, Dern, Godinez, Yasmin Lucindo. I mean,
a lot of those fighters are in their mid to late 30s and in retreadville. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think in the end, one of the problems with 321 was that, again, they were, I think, in both cases, let's get a new champion at women's strawweight.
Yeah.
Let's let either the Tom or the Gane era start anew. And instead, yes, you did get a new champion, but in a way that felt like, because something was missing. And in the main event, something never got started. It was just a problem,
Yeah, it is. This is okay. It is what it is. Let's go to topic number 3. Hey, Umar Nurmagomedov rebounding from that title loss in January to Merab Dvalishvili and fully healthy this time. But did he or did he not fully live up to the challenge from UFC CEO Dana White at Thursday's final press conference, where he ultimately said, if you want this to be a number 1 contender fight, then dominate and do something to get my attention. Part of the reason why Umar was unable to, despite a unanimous decision on 30-27 scorecards on all 3, was because Mario Bautista was game as shit, riding an 8-fight win streak. I have to take my hat off to him, figuratively, because Mario fought well. He had that toe lock cramp thing going for a submission attempt in round 1.
Toe hold.
But Luke, at the end of the day, did Umar Nurmagomedov do enough against a very difficult opponent to secure the next shot at the winner of Merab Yan 2 in December?
Man, this is an interesting one for me. I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say about this one, especially. Okay, so in many ways, this went kind of as expected. We said on the pregame preview, Mario Bautista, the fans are still bitter at him from the Jose Aldo boringness and blah, blah, blah. But he's a good fighter, very well-schooled, well-rounded, great cardio, has good attitude for always seeking offense and trying to wrestle up. You really got to love his moxie. But then he was up against someone who was probably technically superior to him, and he can be hard to look good against. That's kind of what you got. You got an Umar who was better for sure. He could take down at times. He could pass. And from pass, he could go to turtle to the back. And then, various other sort of control positions.
He's a joy to watch. His grappling is awesome.
This fight told me I'm picking Merab. I'm picking Merab. Yeah, I'm picking Merab. Dude, have y'all noticed that Umar and Usman have the exact same skills and strengths, but also the same weakness? They're both very good. They're good. They have that lead leg like flicking front kick.
Yeah.
That Umar has is so
nasty. He's
nasty.
some high kicks too.
He's got the skill, and he can transition to the back and then hold it effortlessly, which is why even a guy as good as Bautista had problems. But like Usman, who can do the exact same thing, neither of them have pop. Neither of them.
It's not just pop. I think it's a disconnection between the skill set and a finish ability. Like some fighters fill that gap to connect it all, like Khabib, by fighting mean, or if you're Islam, you're explosive. When the moment's there, Islam arrives. Both brothers are too technically great and don't connect it to when it's time to go. It's time to go.
They deal with opposition that are hard to hold down, which I can respect. But dude, Khabib, people are like, oh, Khabib had, also he had a good ground game. What does that mean? Khabib had good submissions and violent ground and pound.
Yeah.
Like he would make people suffer underneath him with physical punishment. So he's making you play a different games. He's working on positional advancement. He's working on positional pinning. He's working on ground and pound and subs, and they're all working together. That is not what Usman or Umar do at all. Bros, you cannot beat Merab Dvalishvili if you cannot hurt him. That's the number 1 fucking rule.
Okay, the one thing I want to counter that, and I think in almost all cases you're right, and it's been proven. But injured with a broken left hand or arm early in that fight, Umar was still competitive and close, which made you want to wonder, what does it look like if he's fully healthy? Are you just saying that seeing him fully healthy again in this fight against Bautista, I get it. There was missing that extra gear, but I think it's in there. And I think sometimes it's dependent upon the challenge coming back at you.
You're asking me to evaluate things we did not see. I'm telling you to evaluate everything that we did.
Okay, but what did we see early against Merab?
Yeah, he's got the skills.
What I'm saying is he has every single skill at such a high level that he has the wrestling.
Except the ability to hurt people.
True, but I think he's the only one that could beat Merab without necessarily needing to go through him or submit him.
You can't beat Merab without hurting him. I'm sorry. It can't be done. It's a necessary precondition.
Do you question his gas tank? Because this was a high-paced fight, a very high-paced fight.
Yes. Mario's fuck. I keep saying this shit. Mario is good.
I gotta say it. He's
He's
very good.
good.
He's very good.
He made at a yes. Was he as good as Umar? No, he's not as good as Umar. But Umar is real good,
So
and he made
that's-
Umar work
That
for
pick
it.
of that submission attempt. I know it wasn't like
So this is a toe hold. So the reason why this fails is he would have to get more aligned with him. You'll notice that Umar is off at an angle here, right? So he's almost cross body. That's going to limit it. But like one of the ways you typically see the toe hold limited is someone will straighten the leg. So the straighter the leg is, the harder it is to do. The easier it is to do is when the leg is bent and you can put it right behind their rear end.
Sure.
But he got off at just an angle to
I'm
kind
not
of
saying he
eliminate
was
the
close
pressure.
to getting it. I'm just saying it's rare that you see a Nurmagomedov in that position.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though
Dude,
he
that
did,
would have tapped a lot of people.
and he dealt with a lot of pain, and I think it messed with him a bit in the second half of that fight, although it was only a
And he
three-round
got.
fight.
Did he get? I know it was a flash knockdown. Did he get knocked down in the second?
What I'm saying is he ate that huge knee in the second. He got out of this submission issue without panicking, without much, issue, although he obviously had to endure it. I don't know. Look, did it? I'm not as confident that he beats Merab. I still believe he's the only one. Well, I don't want to say the only one. A healthy Petr Yan in the rematch if he fights at full
Okay,
potential.
with gun to your head, you got to pick one to beat Merab.
I'm
It's
still picking Umar.
Yeah.
And I'm not, but what I'm also saying is he's not there yet, because I think people are starting to say, okay, well, he's not as perfect as Islam and Khabib. No, he's not. He's not the same fighter as then. He's quasi. He's from the same group. He had the same come up and winning world Sambo championships under the late Abdul Manap. But just because he's not them, and just because, like his brother, at least up to this point, he's not a major finish threat, he's so much closer to being a finished product than every other fighter in the game. Skill-wise, I think he's one of the 10 best fighters in this game.
Yes.
And once he does, if he can pull it together, he's going to be incredible. But when you look at this division, unless Song Yadong beats Sean O'Malley, which is possible if they book that fight soon, and it's very possible, unless he does because it's fresh blood for Merab, who else? Who else are you going to give it? Are you going to go?
It's Umar earned the opportunity.
Are you going to go Zahabi because he's got the streak just to fill time?
No,
or what?
no. Umar's the guy. But I'm just saying I'm tired of watching these guys win fights because it's not tired is a strong word. It is amazing to watch them string together offense in so many dimensions so quickly and so effortlessly. And you can tell they're a handful for basically everybody,
Yes.
including for Merab too. They're a handful for Merab. But I'm telling you, if Usman keeps having games where he can't really hurt the opposition, not the ones from Bellator, but the elite ones, Paul Hughes types, it's going to catch up with him.
Unless he becomes a bigger submission threat too. Now he's a huge
Yes,
submission threat,
yes.
but he's got to be a lights out submission
But dude,
threat to not be the
but
striker.
like again, look at the submission prowess of Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
He was good at jiu-jitsu, but had uneven results using it in fights until he started knuckling people. And then
with
everything
you.
got a lot easier for him.
Okay, what do you make of people who say Khabib's riding him too hard? That this training camp reportedly started in March. I mean, he's in ridiculous shape, Umar.
Yeah,
You
I don't
can
think I'm
see
in
it.
any position to tell Khabib
Is
jack
he
shit
okay,
about
is
how to
he
run a camp.
overtraining this guy or no? Can Khabib get into him mentally, do you think? Khabib is all looks to be an incredible coach and has the father system behind him, and they have Javier Mendez in the corner. But is this something that's fixable? Because I'm not panicking, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve. Like, would he benefit from not getting Merab next? He might. He might actually benefit from that because he doesn't have that masterpiece yet. He doesn't have that breakthrough win where he just slices through. It's got the Sandhagen fight, but it doesn't have that one where it's just like, holy shit, this is the guy. Can that be repaired? I don't fear that because I think the other areas are so 10 out of 10 that I think he'll figure it out, and I think he may win it without ever developing that. I think he may win the title without doing that because I think he's that freaking great.
Yeah.
I really do. And I'm not blind to the holes in his game. We're talking about the holes in his game. But is that repairable? Can they bridge that gap? Can Khabib get in his head and change something to get him to be that?
Khabib can't make him anything he's not. So we'll see what he is.
He's one of my favorite fighters. I love
Umar?
I mean,
Dude, I'm telling you, these guys who can't hurt people,
his technique is out of control, though.
dude, I'm with you, but I'm telling you, it looks nice and it is nice. You can do a lot with it.
Sure.
Can you beat the very best guys in the world with it? I have some doubts about that.
Something's got to give. Something's got to emerge from that skill set.
Dude, it's not just that the rules favor damage more, and so that's important to have. It's that the correspondence between winning and the ability to deliver meaningful punishment is so significant that if you're lacking in that, you can literally have all these other skills, and it actually may not be enough. Punishment matters significantly.
I will say, not only do the brothers Umar and Usman, which I agree with what you said, they lack that finishing gear up to this point, they also overlook their opponents a little too much. Have you noticed this?
Usman definitely does.
Yeah, well, I think Umar slightly did in this fight. I mean, he told me when I interviewed him that, I'm going to come in there, take him down, and submit him. And he kind of, looked like he was on pace to do that until he got caught in a submission. But I feel like that's becoming a trend. Maybe that can be...
That's interesting, right? Because he was a minus 650?
Which was insane.
Which, again, and he looked better. Again, he was better. But did he look 650 better? No, he did not.
Let's see some backstage Bushido. I love the stuff between these two guys.
Alhamdulillah. Очень долгий Campbell. Очень долгий. Right. He was tough. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This was like Usman's Paul Fuse fight, the first one,
It's like a little bit.
This guy pushed me to the limit. He's still 130-27. That's the thing.
Should he have won? How'd you score that one there, Long Island?
You got to give round 2 to Mario.
I gave round 2 to Bautista.
At least one judge should have given him.
Who controlled the rest of that round after that knee knockdown? It was Umar.
Yeah, Umar did. Still, I mean, he made Umar work for it.
This was also the card, though, where they were really prioritizing damage, and I feel like that was the most damage in that round.
Fair point.
That was a fun fight to watch, though. A real technical thriller, as they like to say. Let's talk about what could be next for Umar if it's not the champion. Here's Umar talking about that.
And in terms of your career, I think a lot of people want to see you fight for the title again, especially if it's Merab. If Merab wins and wants a quick turnaround for February before Ramadan, would you be happy with that, or are you hoping to wait for the springtime?
Of course, I will be happy. I will be even thankful. And we'll see what's gonna next. If it's not gonna happen before Ramadan, if they will give it to me other fight, maybe with Figueiredo or Aymani Zahabi, with anybody else, I will happy to fight, because today I become a little better in cage, because it's experience. You need to spend a lot of time in the cage to feel it there, like at home. Feel confidence, feel arena, feel fans. And I won't fight. I don't have anything else. I just have sleep, eat, train, repeat.
We don't need, yes, it's sleep, eat, and train. That's it, Luke. He is dedicated to, he's going to figure it out. But his Ramadan timeline in March may help him inadvertently. Because if Merab beats Jan, and let's say he does it without much hassle, they got to slow down that schedule or he's going to burn himself out. I know he's a freak, but 4 times in 1 year, do you want him coming back in March? I'm starting to talk myself into the idea that Umar needs the seasoning. He's right. He just told you there's nothing like Luke, you know what? I think Mario Bautista's okay and he's going to bounce back because he needed a fight against a guy this level to show you that he's game and that he can do this. Who would be that name if Umar is if they're going to let's say they give Umar a February comeback fight before Ramadan. Who is that name? Is it Figueiredo for you? Would you be okay if Zahabi got a title shot? Or would it have to be Song Yadong if he beats O'Malley?
Song Yadong if he beats O'Malley. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But you could, would it be an insult if Zahabi got the title shot right now?
I think Zahabi is putting together the kind of resume that you absolutely cannot ignore. I guess what I would submit is he doesn't quite yet. And again, he's been defying the odds this whole time. I don't think he has quite the win yet where he has stamped his ticket to the championship. He might just need one more, though.
He might be their fallback. If Merab wins, you'd probably want him back in April, May, or June, or what have you.
Yeah, second quarter probably of 2024.
So if that's Ramadan, yeah. So Umar Figueiredo that'd be good.
That'd be a good one.
Zahabi just the same. Would they do Zahabi, Umar?
That one also, this is the thing about Zahabi. He's earned an opportunity like that.
That'd be interesting. Okay.
So you have to give it to him.
More to come in that division, but a fun turn of events if you like Umar, like me. But not everybody does, and I get that. I know they're comparing him to freaking greatness. Look who he rubs shoulders with.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it's pressure. It's huge pressure.
All right, there's also pressure on those who bounce the round ball, the ones that play the basketball, as Luke Thomas likes to say. And the NBA season has tipped off, and so has DraftKings' newest fantasy game. Yes, DraftKings Pick6. It's the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot for real money. And here's how you do it. Just pick more or less in 2 or more stats and unlock the upside that every game brings. Now, Pick6 is available, by the way, in Texas, California, Missouri, and more. But Luke Thomas, you have a lot of things to tell people, especially if they're new DraftKings customers, about how they can dunk this offer.
That's right. You can dunk on this one. Here we go. New DraftKings customers get, I don't have my glasses, please apologize, $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. So here's what you're going to do. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick6 app now and use code COMBAT. That's COMBAT with a K. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick6 bonus picks. Make the call, ride the upside. In partnership with DraftKings Pick6, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
There was also a ESPN interview that Brett Okamoto dropped with Islam Makhachev today, where
I saw some clips of
where
it,
he
yeah.
aggressively wants Topuria at the White House.
Here's my response to
here's
that.
the thing,
You need to worry about JDM first, there,
But
big
he also
fella.
said, what I don't like is that he said, if you want it at 155, you're going to have to pay me. He shouldn't want it at 155. Neither should the UFC or Topuria. The point is, you get the number 1 versus 2 pound for pound. It's a great matchup, especially if Islam
You want it at
wins.
170?
Yeah, that's to give the Topuria. First of all, Topuria is the one who's been calling for it. Okay, at 170, he has no issue with it. It seems. Topuria wants a chance to become max out like Conor did on the rise. You want to max out how great you can be, becoming the first 3 division champion if Pereira doesn't do it before him. And I think Topuria has a better shot. Long Island Luke hates this idea at welterweight. He thinks Topuria is too small.
Yeah, he is too small.
And I'm not saying it has
Gotta
to happen
at
next.
55. Not
Yeah,
70.
I'm with you. I hate the 70 idea.
Okay, but for it to happen at 55, wouldn't Islam have to lose against JDM? Wouldn't that have to increase the likelihood that then he would then come back? Because he's jacked. Have you seen how jacked he is right now? Islam, he's put the weight on.
He looks big.
No, dude, if he goes out there and wins this, he's not cutting down. Hell no. Hell no. Topuria has to defend it again, maybe 2 more times, but I mean, there's not a lot of time left between now
You're
and the
right
White
that
House.
if he's bulking up the right way by adding muscle, you can't just go back down again to make that happen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with this
Do you
one.
care about Hulk Hogan's Real American Wrestling announcing Michael Chandler versus Chad Mendes?
Is that the one that airs on Fox Nation?
I don't know the
Real
details.
American Freestyle? I watched a little bit of that over the weekend.
Yeah, are you into that?
Yeah, actually a little bit. I mean, I don't know how big the audience is for that. I have strange preferences, but yeah.
Okay, that just broke. It's going to go down November 29th in Chicago. Thank you very much.
That's fun. They got a guy who I follow, like a wrestling influencer. You know Muggsy, the wrestling
don't.
influencer? He wrestled on the card on Saturday.
All right. I like wrestling better than BJJ, but I don't really like both all that much, to be fair.
Yeah, but what do you like?
70s vinyl.
Yeah,
definitely. Let's go to topic number 4. Another big fight on the main card was in the heavyweight division. It wasn't big fun at the end of the day, but Alexander Volkov edging out Jailton Almeida via split decision. And despite the absolutely puzzling game plan of Almeida, which included takedowns but almost no work from top position or offense at all, Volkov escaped, extending his current win streak to 5-1 over the last 6, which does include that loss to Gane that no one believes should have been, or not many. So Luke, just like the question we asked about Umar, should Volkov be in line to face the winner of Aspinall Gane, even though this fight sucked and we question Almeida's IQ or understanding of the judging rule set? Did Volkov, he didn't. This fight sucked, but is Volkov deserving after coming so close so many times and losing that big number 1 contender fight? Did he secure the big one?
There's nothing controversial about this win at all. Nothing. Volkov is the only acceptable answer as to who won that bout. Jailton Almeida has no case at all whatsoever.
So DC was right on that hidden microphone when he just said this guy can't fight. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did see that. Who could disagree with him? Jailton Almeida, very athletic. Jailton Almeida, good positional jiu-jitsu, good takedowns. He obviously had Volkov just all kinds of bewildered with the takedown attempts, with the tripping out the post leg and then carrying the lead one. That was very, very good. But then did absolutely. I need. This is what I mean about the Virna Jandiroba fight, BC, which is, do the fighters understand what the rules are? And I'm being serious about this.
Jailton, no.
Do they understand? Getting a takedown, the judges now look at that as, okay, we're fighting here, now we're fighting there. You decided to put the fight there. That doesn't mean anything to them anymore. It doesn't mean, you're just changing the place at which you're now contesting the fight. But changing the location of the fight and the ways in which it is contested, assuming it's, even if you're on top, doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. What means something is what you do after changing that. And he did nothing. He did nothing. He did less than nothing. He just sat there and looked around and held position.
Even threaten submissions.
Nothing. He held the lockdown one time, I believe, as a consequence. It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is he deserved to lose that fight. The judges got this one right. Penalizing the shit that he was doing is exactly what you want the judges to do. They should be making an example out of performances like that, and they did. Good for Volkov, who, by the way, got a sweep and some good ground and pound in the first round.
Dude, he put
last
up a
two
fight.
rounds were a little anemic in both directions, if we're just being honest.
Sure.
However, one guy at least had some attempt at damage, and one guy didn't. Give it to the guy who did.
I mean, if you fight like Almeida fought, you're going to gas out both guys. That's just the way it is.
Yes.
And that's what happened,
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
And listen, is Volkov in this performance with any of the resiliency he showed, did he really make you believe he's got a shot against Aspinall or Gane? I guess maybe Gane, considering they have history, but that Gane that we saw looked great in that main event. Probably not is the answer.
He's going to deserve a shot. I always felt like Volkov would get there. He's got it now. Here's Volkov making his own case on the mic after the fight for that title shot.
Do you believe that you should be next after tonight?
I know it wasn't like a great performance, not because of me, but who else? I don't know right now. Who else should fight for the title? Maybe Almeida? No. Who? I don't know. Like Blades, he'll lose already. Tom Aspinall, and maybe he will fight with a guy who loses fight. I don't know. Like it looks like I should be next. Like we will see what happens with Alex Pereira. Of course, he won't go up to the division. Like UFC can do anything, but if it will stay the same, I should go next. So I don't know what I will do with the champion yet, but it should be me.
Yeah, he needs to sit out and wait for it. I mean, look, the good part about, if there's any good part about the eye poke fallout, is that we're a little bit more interested for sure to see Aspinall Gane too. Let's say you do that early spring, then you do that heavyweight fight for a non-title at the White House, and you try to do your best to promote it as the winner fights for the championship. Whether or not that's true, whatever, but the winner of Aspinall Gane versus Volkov late summer, that's another pay-per-view main event or PLE main event. That's not bad. I mean, Aspinall Volkov, first fight, quick submission
as a main
win.
event is a dead letter. Be real.
Okay, what about in a soccer stadium in England? Which
you
they haven't done
change
yet,
the atmospherics, and I think it's a slightly different calculus.
Like if Aspinall knocks out Gane, then there's some buzz there. You can try to build on that there. We'll see if they do whatever. But
please be
would
serious.
you have it? I guess what I'm saying is the first fight Aspinall took, knocked Volkov down and then submitted him so quickly with that with the chicken wing there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the second fight going any different, or do you have to see the Gane rematch first?
I think that the problems of the problems of Volkov's takedown defense haven't gone anywhere, and Aspinall is going to be able to exploit it. And so, I would say this: Volkov has steadily, brick by brick, worked on his grappling defense. So he might be a little harder to submit this time, but I just certainly would not favor
I want
him.
it to be more of an offensive shootout on the feet. Let's see what we got here. Tom Speed would be a
Watch
problem.
Glory, though.
Tom Speed would be a damn problem. But quickly, here's Dana dunking on Almeida as he should. Right?
Even though Jailton got all the takedowns in control, he just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Even Ben Askren.
Listen,
Well, Ben Askren was like, "What is Jailton like allergic to throwing punches in there?" Was his exact phrase.
You can't win a fight by just laying on top of somebody. That's not how it works. So I was actually very happy with the way the judges scored that fight.
Thanks, Dana. I actually agree with you.
Yeah, he's right. He's completely right.
Let's keep going down the card here. I can't believe we're saying this. Alexander Rakic has lost 4 straight fights. And while the topic probably should be about unbeaten 36-year-old Azamat Murzakanov, is he now kind of creeping into contention? I do want to ask you first, where do we go from here with Rakic? What do we do
Heavyweight.
here?
He should go to heavyweight.
I hope more of those light heavyweights like Blachowicz, eventually Yuri. I'd like to see all those guys.
And I'm
bring
not
the
saying he has to
speed.
blow up super big, but I bet you his walk around weight is close to 230, even 240.
Fucking Bill.
He's enormous.
Yes.
Go to heavyweight. I think he's faster than them. He's more athletic than them. It's a fresh start. If it doesn't work, you can go back down. You don't have to change your body composition in the same kind of way. Go to heavyweight. Because right now at light heavyweight, dude, when you got guys, we talked about it on the pregame preview. We nailed that one. The hand speed, the foot speed, the fluidity of movement is just too much for a guy like Rakic when Nurmagomedov can do those kinds of things. And, dude, he was just reaching for the takedown. I went back and I watched real closely. His eyes, Rakic's eyes, were on the leg. He didn't even see it coming, which is why, whenever that happens, it lands with extra authority. Dude, he should go to heavyweight. You're not going to have to deal with guys with the speed of Nurmagomedov up a weight class.
Nurmagomedov deserves a fight now. I mean, this was a big fight for him. He deserves a big fight now.
Yep. He beat. Dude, look at the ease with which he beat Rakic, who again looked like he was in insane shape.
Yes.
Yuri couldn't do that. Yuri had to battle back from incredible adversity.
Sure.
Nurmagomedov dispatched him.
We mentioned the preliminary featured bout. Did Aussie Quillen?
This can't be a real name.
Quillen Salkilled.
His name looks like the Scrabble board when, you know what I mean? When you've got all the pieces handed out, you're like, how the fuck am I going to make
10 days' notice against Kelvin Gastelum's lookalike Nasrat Hakparast. Is that the KO of the year? Because, dude, Hakparast was out cold.
I mean, this is the year everyone's been talking about on social media. This is the year of the spinning back elbow.
Yes.
So I don't know if it'll win knockout of the year.
Lerone Murphy, holy crap.
Lerone Murphy's got a great one.
Yeah.
But in terms of just, violent authority, this is the KO of the year. And he even said, I saw an interview he did with I think UFC on TNT backstage, and he was like, I've never done anything like that before. He does have some stoppage wins with his hands, so he's like, he's used to that, but he just threw it and it worked, and it was the best one he's ever done.
Aussie
Incredible.
Luke, your dad a big fan of this guy or what?
Yeah, we were raving about him. I think the reason it's so fucking intriguing is because he's been a grappler in his Contender Series fight. He got 12 takedowns. In one of his UFC fights, he got 10 takedowns. So to see him have it with his hands too is oh shit, or with his feet, I guess.
He looks like he's gnarly. He looks like he was raised in the bush, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Does have a very Aussie haircut.
Yeah, I hope he resides there now after this victory because that's it's a very warm. Okay, gross. Luke, what the hell is Mateusz Roumbetsky made of? Because he was getting pieced up by Ludwig Klein in a fight that Ludovic in a fight that we all thought would be a banger. It was almost a one-sided showcase of Klein's skills for a while.
Klein also diced to the socks.
Yes,
insane.
But Ron Buchki just doesn't stop Michael Myersing you, and he damn near almost finished him after breaking his ankle and battering him like that scene in Misery with James Caan and Kathy Bates with that metal piece. That was pretty gnarly for a sixth grader in the theater with your parents. You know what my parents thinking right there. Good Lord. Klein's stock goes up, and the CTE of Ron Buchki is going to be incredible, but we do have to marvel at this action hero.
He has a problem, which is that he has a ton of ferocity, and he has a real problem with defense and closing the distance.
He has to get hit flush 3 times before he'll throw a punch, but then he'll throw a crazy combo.
Yeah, and he's obviously got some pretty decent wrestling, and he's a physical beast. I mean, there's no question about it. But Klein is talented, dude. Klein got outworked, obviously, by Gamrot. Gamrot gave him some real problems, but Gamrot gives most people some real problems. I think he learned from that one. His takedown defense looked better. He was catching Roumbetsky coming in over and over and over again. But as you mentioned, he completely shatters his ankle in the third round. He got kind of beat up there at the end. But Roumbetsky, I mean, bro, I feel for I worry about his life after fighting because he's just giving away quality years of his life fighting this way. But he has a dog in him. You can't say otherwise.
Good Lord, does he? Is he in the same weight class as Nate the Train? Can we make that fight happen? Good Lord.
Is Nate Landwehr a 45er?
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. There's our Gotti Ward there in the Apex gymnasium. Luke Walter Walker. This was him at the weigh-in showing off his foot fetish. Dude, this guy as a heavyweight, half brother of Johnny Walker, is fun as shit. Got another ankle here, Luke. He's not there yet, but these exciting victories, which are very reminiscent of Johnny Walker on a knockout sense with the jumping knees, but this is done differently. He's going to be a factor if he keeps this up. Can he keep this up?
I don't know. He's only showing us this.
Or is this Mackenzie area where it's it's a great party trick, but
again, it's usually okay, so in the history of MMA, what typically happens is people who are like this, Masakazu Imanari was one of the first guys with these weird grappling entries. catching you, in his case, with various heel hooks or other forms of leg submissions. And what you find is that eventually those guys, they are gimmicky. And then when their game goes up against someone who can stop that, you're like, okay, well, what else do you have? And then they usually have nothing. Can't say that about Walter or Walter Walker. We don't know the answer to that yet.
He throws big strikes too.
He does.
He's
a big dude,
Yeah.
and he's not taking any fucking damage. But at the same time, we just don't know. We don't know. But I mean, this thing he's doing is crazy. It's crazy he's able to do this.
It would actually be great for the division if he could make a run here, isn't it? Would it not? I mean,
they need fresh blood. I can tell you
that.
that.
It would be great if he could.
But dude, you shouldn't. I mean, here's the thing, though. It's not his fault, but the division should be in a place where you don't get a title shot from doing stuff like this.
Well, he's not close to that, but I want to see him beat a Curtis
I don't think
Blades
he's that
eventually.
far. I mean,
well, he's not that far because it's heavyweight.
Yeah.
But like eventually, there's some Curtis Blades type people, hanging around that.
Yes.
Like, okay,
I'll be curious to see
got.
if the buck stops there, kind of thing.
Anybody else you want to highlight on this undercard? We have a loaded show, but I wanted to give you the opportunity.
Sorry, let me pull up. Let's go to Long Island here while I pull up my notes. Sorry, I didn't have them in front
Let's
of
go
me.
to Huntington.
Nathaniel Wood, Jose Delgado. I thought that was a fun ass fight. It was probably a robbery. I don't think Nathaniel.
Yeah, I
Wood
didn't
really
like Wood by
deserved it.
decision there.
I thought Delgado won, but then everyone assured me on social media that if you look closely, Wood won. Fair enough. I mean, it was close. The Hamdi Abdel Wahab Chris Barnett fight was terrible.
It was buns, yeah, and we'll see some of those buns in my
Mitch
shit soon.
Raposo had a nice win over Azat Maxim, who couldn't get much done. Ikram Alaskarov, by the way, underperforming in my judgment against Park Jun Yong.
Habib needs to separate that. He doesn't need that on his lineage, on his legacy.
Who?
Coach Habib.
Oh, that's right, because now they're working together.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough. But to me, you had some interesting. You had as you mentioned, the Jose Miguel Delgado loser in that case. I thought he performed really well. He did miss weight though. He missed weight by 47.
That does take some shine off of it. All right, let's fast forward here to topic number 5. We didn't preview this, and I really didn't.
It wasn't on my radar super hard.
Yeah, I didn't love the fight on paper, but I got to be honest. A lot of that is because of the hate people have for DAZN promising they're going to get rid of pay-per-view again and then coming back and putting fights like this, which shouldn't be a pay-per-view in the States. It was Joseph Parker, former heavyweight title holder, who's on the midst of a run right now that has given him 6 consecutive victories, or was on that run, over the likes of Deontay Wilder, Zhang Jilei, Martin Bakoli. It looked as if he had done enough to eventually secure a shot at Alexander Usyk's undisputed title. The question was, like, how long would he have to wait? Well, he chose to stay busy instead against unbeaten, more of a wild man on the rise up, but now he's a contender for sure. And in one Fabio Wardley, this turned into an all-action, back-and-forth fight. Wardley hurting Parker in the second round, but then we had the big crazy moment there down the stretch in round 11. So at the end of round 10, by the way, Parker looked kind of weary. He was getting beat up. But in round 11, Wardley put it on him, but referee Howard Foster, the same guy who infamously stopped the first Carl Froch-George Groves fight, which did set up that legendary rematch in front of 80K.
Which he never stops talking about.
But he's known for stuff like this. Is there any way to justify what he did? Parker was taking a lot of unanswered shots, but was moving, was defending, and was trying to mount offense back. But the problem is, like, the moment that he stopped it, was he justified at all in the sequences leading up to that?
So I didn't watch it live, and then my social media feed was filled with terrible stoppage.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's show Dan Rayfield's tweet if you don't mind.
Yeah. Parker was up 98, 92, 96, 94, 95, 95, so it would have been a majority decision at the time of the shitty stoppage by the usually terrible Howard Foster, who has fucked up fights for decades. Bro, I tell you what about Dan Rayfield. He doesn't give a shit.
No, he's independent now, so he's just telling it like it is. He's on.
He will absolutely lay it on
he's
anybody.
straight up. Now tell me, wow.
So I saw tweets like that, and I was like, and then also our friend Dan Canobio.
Yes,
he was lambat. So I went back and I watched it. Can I be honest about this?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good stoppage. I'm not saying that.
It is a shitty stop. In the moment, like the moment that he stopped, it sucks.
No, I disagree a little bit.
Okay.
It's not a good stoppage. I guess I don't have the same venom that I saw within the boxing community for it. I'll tell you why. So basically, in the last moments of the fight, before the stoppage happens, Wardley is bombing on him. And you can see Parker, to your point, moving.
Yeah.
And then there's one instance where Parker really starts firing back, and then they kind of clinch in the center of the ring, and then they separate again. and then Wardley goes right back to putting it on him. And that is when the referee steps in. Now, in my mind, he still stepped in too early. However, if you just follow that logic where you're trying to, because what you want to see him move defensively and then fire back. That's actually what you're looking for.
He was eating too many clean ones. He was
eating too many clean ones. And then after firing back, he goes right back to getting bombed on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't think it's a horrible stoppage.
This guy's hard to defend normally, obviously. But sometimes referees in their mind, when they see someone who's trying to be a warrior but is getting hit, they say, okay, one more clean one.
Right.
And then that one clean one did come, but he didn't stop it right then. So that's really the problem. There was that sort of pause.
Yes.
And then stop it.
Fair.
But if you're Parker, you do have to look at that critically and say, like, I was in a position where I was hurt, floundering. Yes, there was some defense. Yes, there was some head movement, but there were a lot of unanswered shots. So
it wasn't, dude, that was a shocking amount of unanswered punches.
If it was just a little bit earlier, I don't think there would have been this outrage. And then when you add on that Parker was ahead on the scorecards, and he was taking a gamble, taking this fight. You know, he could kind of blow up his position.
Can you tell me about Fabio Wardley? So I was looking at his record. He has the draw. He had a split draw, against Frazier Clark.
Yes.
Then rematches him and beats him in the first round.
And that somehow became a really big fight over there. Like, a lot of people were behind that fight, and he bombed on him and looked great. I called some of his early fights on DAZN, and he didn't blow me away, and he didn't blow a lot of people away. But he's tough. Now he knows how to deliver. 30. He knows how to deliver his offense now. Like, he has a pretty good arsenal of power shots. Not a classic boxer, but a fun action fighter. Dude, he brought it from the jump. Yes, he was losing, and he should have been losing on the scorecards. But he had big moments in this fight. He had Parker hurt at the end of round 2. He almost had him out of there at the end of round 10. So some of that does support at least the area of time of the stoppage. You just can't support the exact second that it was
Once
stopped.
again, these commissions will never let you know what the referee is thinking. So we can't hear him say, hey, I saw his eyes roll back in his head or something like that.
Exactly.
Which could have told you something,
That's
but
why
we
an interview
don't
would be
know
great.
because they never tell us anything.
All right, let's hear from Joseph Parker. He gave a very classy response to how it all broke down.
You know what? I'm good. Congratulations to Fabio Wardley for a tough fight, a warrior. And at the end of the fight, I thought I was fine, but listen, I'm not the ref. I'm not the one controlling the fight in terms of refereeing. So, but I went out there, we both went out there and gave it our best, and he won tonight, so he's a good man.
So
that's a professional right there.
It is. And there's an argument to be made that now you have a rematch, if you can book it, that people would care about. And maybe this doesn't kill Parker, because if Usyk wasn't going to fight him anyway,
which he said he didn't want to.
Yeah, then maybe this gives him time to rematch and win. The problem is now Wardley's promoter, Frank Warren, maybe rightfully so, is now tweeting out that the next fight's going to be Wardley against Usyk. And if you're Wardley,
Who promotes Parker?
I believe also Frank Warren.
Why wouldn't he want the rematch? I mean, I get why you would want
trying
the Usyk
to pump
fight.
your guy into,
okay,
trying to bring the title to your side. But here's Wardley talking about that, and I don't think he's earned it, but yet he blew away Frazier Clark after that hiccup. And anytime you beat Joseph Parker at this point, you got to give him credit. He didn't stop the fight, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Wardley won it, so look at what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, it's a wild one when you piece it all together like that. But look, I'm the next one up. I'm the next one at it. I've got big, broad shoulders, so that's fine by me. I'll carry all the pressure. There's no problem. But I'm something different. I think we've thrown enough of the kind of, not to say any of those guys are similar or the normal, usual, whichever else, but they all come from similar backgrounds, similar ways of doing things, and I come from a different school or a non-school, however you want to call it. So, look, we've thrown all the kind of the usual guys at him, our top dogs and whatever. So, yeah, look, let me have a crack with something different, see where we are.
I mean, he made a good argument for himself, considering that Usyk doesn't want to fight Otama right now. And it is early for Otama.
It's too early for Moses.
And like neither, Joshua's not ready. Joshua might not come back until next year, he's saying now. Fury only wants to come back for a super big one, but no one wants to see a third Fury fight right now without Fury doing other things first. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, even though Joseph Parker, I didn't like the stoppage, he took the risk by doing this fight. You know what I mean? Ultimately. So I don't know if there's a rematch clause. I'm
Is
not
there
sure.
anyone in boxing who doesn't hate the stoppage?
No, because the stoppage did suck.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a good stoppage, but I found I guess it's usually when I see these kinds of reactions and then I watch the fight, I'm like, oh yeah, right. This one I was like, okay, I mean, it wasn't great, but like, I think some of the outrage is a little bit over the top.
The thing about Joseph Parker is, as good as he is, and he did have a world title, he lost it to Anthony Joshua in their unification. I've just never seen, and he had a nice comeback year recently with those wins. I've never seen him really step up and win that big one convincingly, like really just knock the guy
Beat
out.
the shit out of
or-
Bocoli.
These are very good elite wins, and he's compiled a certain amount of elite wins and elite losses. And he's still only 33, even though he's been around forever. I don't know what he could have done against Usyk is really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's not beating Usyk.
And while he's way more skilled than Wardley, Fabio's like saying, look, I got a different style, different attitude, different background. Could it still end with a Usyk knockout? It probably could, but it'd be a different kind of entertaining fight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never thought we'd be in this spot. I never thought that result was going to happen. But that atmosphere is contagious. It's incredible to watch that. I wish we could have that in the States, and I can't believe they made this a pay-per-view, but that's the
I can't believe how dead boxing is. I'm telling you honestly, this is the deadest it's been in my life.
They've murdered my boy. I mean, what happened here? You know what I mean?
It's finished, man.
I mean, no, it's not finished for good, but it almost feels like it's like purposely being put down for the moment so that they can, come back with what they've got coming next.
Maybe so.
We'll see. Hey, this podcast, by the way, sponsored by Total Wireless, the official wireless partner of UFC. And when you're streaming the fight, or of course, sharing those takedown highlights with your boys, you know what I'm talking about. You need a wireless provider that keeps you close to the action. And with Total Wireless, get this, you're covered by that Verizon 5G network. So you don't have to worry about your connection being dropped at the biggest moments. It's not something we normally talk about. Man, my wireless provider has my back like Coach Kavanaugh, right? No, Total Wireless does, though. That's the thing. They're in your corner every second of the day, so you never miss a thing, Aerosmith. They keep you covered for just $25 a month with 4 lines without sacrificing essentials like speed. And with Total, you get that unlimited 5G data, so you can stay ahead of the action and keep up with every single KO. Total Wireless also understands no surprise blows here. So here's what they're going to come correct with. A price guarantee for 5 years, and that's with taxes and fees included. The best fighters, they don't make it to the octagon alone. They need that support staff around with them. So why don't you head in to your local Total Wireless store right now or visit TotalWireless.com to learn more about how Total Wireless can be in your corner. 5G access requires a 5G-capable device on a 5G service area. Monthly rate on the Total Base 5G Unlimited plan for new subscribers applies only to the monthly rate for your plan. Additional terms apply. Please see the website for more details. That's enough for our 5 topics. Before we poke through the kernels of my Shiite, though, we did offer you, like we do every Sunday night at Morning Kombat, on IG and X for an opportunity to get your questions heard. Any names you're going to predict that we're going to see, like a man and his cat or
Flannels and Jits?
Oh, yeah, we love that guy. This one's called DMs from Donks.
Just want to point out we got rid of the ejaculating donkey, but
it keeps returning.
The fans demanded we return it, so here we
are. Here's the first one from Logan N. Nodalny? No diggity? I'd like to bag it up, Logan. Should a point be taken for excessive stalling? The Pride yellow card.
This is a tough one. I wish we had a Pride system where, to your point, you don't necessarily lose the position, but they flash a yellow card. And I think if you get 2, I forget exactly how Pride did it, but it was 2 yellows and a red. And then you lose points. And you would also lose a portion of your purse on the yellows. But they don't make enough for me to justify doing that, typically speaking. So I don't think
Dana would be down with that. Get a little cattle prod where you can just, Apollo hook them out of the cage.
I would say this. We've been on this show. Me personally, I've been very vocal about the need to take points quicker on fouls. Stalling is a little harder to do this on. And the reason why, BC, is because stalling can very easily be the fault of 2 people. And so disentangling who is at fault is a little bit of a problem.
Just like a divorce.
That's right. You need a court-appointed attorney to mitigate the split a little. So
how did the marriage become sexless? That takes 2 people.
It takes 2. Two are not fucking. Otherwise, something bad happens. Yeah. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I'm not opposed to the idea on this, but unlike eye pokes, unlike ball kicks, I think they should be much more judicious.
Yeah, judicious ball kicks are the way to go. No, seriously, you can start enforcing the rules, officials, and they did that on Saturday, and we like that. You can continue it. Yes, I don't want a society with cameras on every street corner, but it's coming.
It's
here.
It's here.
It's here.
Yeah, Palantir knows what we're doing.
Yeah, that guy. Wow. Let's go to the next question. This one's from @Fahey_Liam, another boy named Liam.
Not an underscore, a period.
Overscore, in between score. Fahey, period, Liam. Will there be an addition of weight classes in the next decade, or will UFC stick with what they are used to if there is a change, it would probably be the 165, right? If there is a change.
That would be one. The other one would be you could see the UFC go to atom weight on the women's side.
Not enough depth. We're seeing that play out.
There's enough. There might be more depth at atom weight than there is at 35. I don't know how true that is. They'd have to strip mine what they did so when they created the women's divisions, they basically strip mined Invicta. They'd have to do the same kind of thing.
There needs to be a new revolution for women's MMA, a new spark that puts so many people in the gyms, right? There needs to be one of those.
Yeah.
Women's heavyweight.
Well, that's your idea. 30.
Yeah.
Someone was asking me, like, why don't they do 35 to 55? I'm like, that's the Brian Campbell special right there.
I just love women, and I want them to have equal rights.
You like the big women.
All right, the next point of questioning here from V Sanchez _88. In terms of poor decision making in MMA, which we see a lot on the highest level.
Oh, Johnny Walker's got to be on there.
Who is on your Mount Donkmore is Big Onk. I'm sorry,
but Johnny Walker for
Johnny Walker,
sure.
Michelle Perdita.
What do you think, Long Island? Who donks it up?
I'm just thinking of more like one-off instances, like Andre Sukumtoth against Sean O'Malley when like Sean O'Malley's leg was broken and
bonus
didn't
points.
Make him stand
Bonus
up.
points.
Yeah.
What did Sean O'Malley call Sukumtot?
Soccer mom.
Soccer mom.
Yeah.
That's right.
Great.
I was actually just going to call him that, but I thought I'd try and
Yeah, it's a little
show
racist.
him the respect.
Yeah, don't do that. Those are two good ones. I mean, could you put Nico Montano in there for somehow getting a title and then having the worst title reign imaginable?
Yes.
Also, Jermaine Durandamy had an amazing career, but knowing you had to fight Cyborg if you beat Holly, then you beat Holly in not a good fight, and then immediately decide you're not going to fight Cyborg. Didn't love that.
I feel like Iron Lady was closer to beating Amanda in the rematch than she
She gave
realized.
Amanda a tough ass fight in the rematch. Dude, Jermaine Durandamy is amazing.
Yeah.
But like that moment,
She
not
was just active more because she was more elite in her later years than she was in her, sort of age prime. She had put it all together. She just didn't fight enough. She was busy.
She was a police officer.
Damn right she
I think she still is. Yeah, in the Netherlands.
What was the question again?
All-time donks.
A rude conversation. It really is. But people make big donk mistakes and big moments constantly.
Yeah.
It's part of it. I mean, Stephan Bonner had some donk moments in big fights.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. I'd have to think about it, but these are some decent answers to start. Certainly Johnny Walker is the,
Yeah, definitely.
chief among them.
Let's go to the next question from the people. This one's from Appy Fatathon. That's Appy. That's the co-donk of the year.
He's
David Appleton.
They're letting him do this from jail?
Yes. He says, are acoustic songs by hard rock groups overrated? I'm thinking about Patience by Guns N' Roses, Just Breathe. That's Creed, right? Or no, that's Pearl Jam. I'm sorry. What am I thinking of? That's the Pearl Jam. Oh, that's off of the what's that album called?
I want to say it's on No Code.
No.
Or is it on Yield?
It's on Backspacer.
All right,
that one's great.
No, Backspacer's 09. That's way too late.
It's on the one with Unthought Known. All right, there you go.
I think that's Backspacer.
I'd make an exception for More Than Words from Extreme. So, Luke, basically what he's saying is the acoustic power ballad from a badass band. I had metal friends growing up who were like, we love AC/DC because they don't ever do that. There's no room in life for that. Obviously, you've got a little tenderness in your heart. You can get down for a metal band doing a nice acoustic love song, right?
Well, I mean, how do we feel about, for example?
I mean, Patience is probably number one on the list.
Okay, but let's try out something a little bit with a wider scope here. I saw both Alice in Chains and Nirvana do MTV Unplugged.
Yes.
Would that count?
I mean, those
are kind of covers.
That's acousticizing your own badass material, but we're talking about writing one.
What do you think, Long Island?
I brought up to BC pre-show Nutshell by Alice in Chains. I feel like is an example of that, like a slower acoustic.
But it's not like that's a love song or anything. You know what I mean?
But it's like, it's not really their like.
I mean,
grungy,
I've seen GNR enough times and heard them play that. It doesn't feel like it's played out for the audience when I'm there, and I'm not even a big GNR guy. I just go with because my wife loves them.
Wow, Mrs. Thomas. All right.
She loves Guns N' Roses.
Did she like Chinese Democracy when it finally came out? Or no?
I haven't asked her about that one, but she's big on, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Do you know my dad waited out in line after midnight at the local Strawberries on a Sunday night to get those two albums?
I can tell you that my dad did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you that my dad did not.
My dad has done that for a few pivotal moments. He also had the first Rage CD before anyone at school did. I'll give him that credit.
How old is your dad?
He's 22 years older than me, so he just turned the age 70 in September.
Jesus. He had you when he was 22?
Yeah, my sister when he was 20, married at 18.
Wow. What?
Yep.
Boy, speaking of not hating,
Want to hear
or
something
hating condoms,
crazier?
huh?
Wow.
Me and BC's parents are the same age. That's kind of wild.
Are you two brothers?
We might be.
Were your parents swingers with each other?
You know, I always felt a little half Australian, to be fair with you. Do we have more questions from our people here? From our peepholes? This is from Pat. You know Pat McCann 34. I never heard of this guy. You know him?
Sure.
All right. Favorite Halloween memory?
Man, I tell you what. When your
really
kids were trick or treating, let me ask you a question. When your kids were trick or treating, did you make them make their own?
No.
You let them just buy.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Help me. I'd help them with like.
Can I tell you
stuff
a
around
bit
the
of
house.
trauma that I have?
Yes.
My mom was like she didn't have the idea that you couldn't buy anything.
She wasn't big into like Roy Rogers coupons or anything like that.
No,
That's your
no.
dad, yeah.
But she basically made me make my own costumes every year. So every year I had a fucked up costume.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, what the fuck, man? I never had a good costume because I didn't know what do you think? I'm Tim Gunn? I can just fucking fabricate some shit. So with my daughter, we made her fabricate some stuff, but in general, I just bought her stuff. So I'll tell you, my favorite Halloween memories are fucking with her. You're like going out with her.
Yeah. Well, they should be, by the way, when you get to that point.
Because I always had shitty ass costumes.
I had more shitty Halloweens than not. Like there was this third grade party where everyone was going to wear a costume at Amanda Curran's house for her birthday, and they played the Thriller record, by the way, over and over and over. That's where we were in life at that point. And I was the only one that bought a costume at like Ames. I bought a GoBots costume, and everybody else had like handmade ones that their parents made for them. And I felt like the poor white trash kid.
Dude,
in the group.
I
was hiding in the corner.
I always had costumes where people had to ask me what the fuck I was.
Yeah, that's not fun either.
Because I just looked like shit the whole time. So, I mean, I'm not saying I had bad Halloweens. I still got a bunch of candy, and in the end, like, that's all that really matters, I suppose. But, like, golly, dude, I have much more fun with my daughter figuring out what she's going to wear and helping her do it. And,
all right, the worst things to get besides your dad's coupons or the times they give you like a nickel, and you're like, come on.
I had a dentist neighbor one time who used to give us toothbrushes.
That's bad. Popcorn balls, really bad. Somehow my wife vouches for those.
Here's what. Let me tell you what I don't want. I don't want your homemade fucking treats.
Yes. I don't want your coins. I don't want your, what are those butterscotch, Mary Jane's? I want a different kind of Mary Jane.
The Necco wafers, remember those?
I'll take those, but Mary Jane's, come on. They're so hard you break your teeth biting into those.
I think I just threw those in the garbage.
If someone's giving you those, what are those old, those butterscotch, those Werther's.
Werther's
Originals.
Old ladies giving Werther's. Come on, give me the candy bar.
Listen, if I have a bag of candy and
It's
I got
keto,
like, if I've got like one, if I've got one Werther's Originals, I think that's okay. It's like, but when multiple houses are just donking it up, that's no fun. Yeah.
My parents always checked it for, razor blades, so they had to open every piece.
Oh, your parents are those kinds of people?
Come on.
They were big into the satanic panic.
The razor blade would have been fine. I would have just spit it out. Come on.
No, you know what you actually do have to worry about is not the razor blades. It's the weed gummies.
Oh,
that's
yes,
getting into
giving those out to
circulation.
kids?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. I think that wraps up our questions, right? Tell me.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we have one more segment from. Thank you to the people. Oh, yeah, the fans. morningkombat@gmail.com, but you already knew that if you want to reach us. Friday show, we're coming back with fan subs and dead wrongs. Very pedantic of us. So reach out and touch someone, preferably Mikey, with pictures of you touching. Okay, that went too far. Our final fan segment is for you, the fans. By me. It's a gift. I scoured the globe for the internet, for the highs and lows, the good, the bad, the ugly.
You have talked very highly about this week's batch.
Well, some people were upset about the amount of fecal content lately. I'm trying,
Dude, last week was like, here's this woman getting farted on by 100 people in a mariachi band.
I'm trying to make this segment great again. Have you seen this shit? Hoo-ah, yeah, somebody's taking a shot. Hey, UFC 321 was in Abu Dhabi, and Chris Barnett was there to show his ass. I never thought a fighter needed a belt more. Dude, long layoff. We all wanted to see this guy. He got beat up. The fight sucked.
I feel like this is a great representation of the state of heavyweight.
Dude, what happened here? You should be better than this, shouldn't you? Can you tighten them? What happened here?
I don't know.
Did the waistband go to this? I'd rather see Mike Tyson's ass in the Netflix locker room over.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it came down, for example, when Saryukin was fighting Oliveira. Remember that?
Yes.
Actually, he kind of ended up getting out of the choke by virtue of that. So it does happen. I just don't listen. Do you know how great my day is when I don't have to see another man's ass?
Yeah, that's
there's no
unless
point.
they're tatted up, then you're all about it.
Well, then it's a
suddenly.
little different. But there's no day where I'm like, oh, I get to look at the buttocks of another man, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's better. It's never better. It's always worse.
Hey, watch the UFC weigh-in closely. Umar Nurmagomedov, PFL champion. Look at the warm greeting from the UFC staff. That's Usman right there. There's Dana. And watch Bro Hunter coming up. Yeah, get a little bit.
Dude,
yeah.
is it just me, or is Hunter Campbell with that mustache starting to look like Wario?
Yeah, he's starting to look like a villain from a cartoon. It feels inevitable, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, everyone knows. Guys, none of this is unpredictable. PFL will not make it, and eventually he'll be over there.
Will both brothers be UFC champions before it's said and done?
No.
Will one?
Yes.
You're going Usman at lightweight, aren't you, you mother effer?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, all right. Luke, we also saw some Nurmagomedov hijinks when Khabib got after former teammate DC, and people always be messing with DC.
Dude, the Russians love fucking with DC. And not just the Russians. I guess the Brazilians do too.
Yes.
But it's great to see. They love fucking with him.
Luke, we never can defend the MMA media, typically, right?
Why would
Here's
you?
another reason why.
How many times a week do you squat, and what's your squatting weight? What do you squat?
Oh, my God.
I do like a lot of repetitions of squats, but not too heavy. Of
She
course,
answered it?
when I get in fight camp, I go like heavier, but usually it's like
For more, head to
every
OnlyFans.
single day I squats, Monday through Saturday, and like 60 pounds, 70 pounds. I do like sumo squats, a lot of like repetitions, 24 of 20. I work.
That went on pretty long, but wow, what a question. I did ask Tai Tuivasa that time, are you going to take Greg Hardy up on your offer to bang Tui, right? It was one of the greatest moments in media day history.
Didn't you ask Aljamain Sterling about getting dick down?
Yes, I did.
Did you do that as well?
I did that as well.
Jose, you got hung up on by the Charlos. You got hung up on by Mike Perry.
I got hung up by Tyson Fury.
See,
Mike
I don't
Perry
get those.
threatened
I
to
just
kill
get people
me.
who say no at the front end and just don't ever talk to me. Yeah.
Wow. So you remember that weird moment between Aspinall and Nina when he asked her that weird question?
About getting
Yeah.
digitized, let's say.
About going third base with a fighter. Here's Johnny Walker. At least Nina knows who fingered Tom Aspinall. Yes, it was Ciryl Gane. Luke, that whole Nina Aspinall weirdness kind of reminded me of this video.
Excuse me? Could you be in this video real quick to make my ex-boyfriend jealous?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no
do you think you could finger me too? For the video?
Yeah.
Pop the.
So that dude is a comedian. That dude is a comedian. I don't know his name. I think it's like, I forget it. But
All right. Speaking of Aspinall, he talked a lot about his hog this week. Here's Aspinall with Eddie Hall in the gym.
Think of some more names for yourself.
I'm very sensitive to nicknames. I don't really like them, personally. Okay. A couple of people have tried to call me the honey badger.
What about tripod?
Does that mean you got a big penis?
Yes.
That's not me.
You wouldn't-
That's
you wouldn't-
that's
you wouldn't say
somebody
that
else.
one.
No,
No.
it's not. It's untrue. It's
Okay.
untrue, mate.
Fair enough. Well, fair. I like an honest man.
See, he wouldn't lie. He's being honest.
he's
got
not
the
going to
English
get
curse.
erect wrestling with Hezbollah.
Well, he didn't
apparently.
defend his dong when asked at media day either.
Obviously, you famously once said that you refused to get into a dick measuring contest with Sergei Pavlovich. Is that something you think you'd be interested in with Ciryl or no?
I think I'm fighting a losing battle with that one, unfortunately.
Okay. I kind of like this guy now. This is
I
funny.
think he would say the same after watching the Jones Hasbulla video.
All
Just
right,
so
let's
you
see.
know, we're not there yet, but be careful, Luke, who you let when you're at these theme parks and your kid wants to hug the mascot. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who's behind there doing weird things. Look at this guy working his ass on
Is
the
that Shrek
pole.
scratching his butthole?
I mean, is that part of the gimmick or what?
Dude, where is a drive-by shooter when you need one?
Well, you got to be careful on the roadways, Luke, because anything can break out. Let's see the cam on this motorcycle. Third world, your ass.
With Torta running after him. That suspiciously looked like Colombia because they have a lot of yellow bridges there.
I don't think it was AI, although I get sentineled often. You know this,
Yeah,
okay? Scooters are also dangerous.
Well done.
You ready for this
Oh, no, not that one. Where's
Not
the-
this one. Wait.
Did I give? No, yeah, number.
Looks like 6 is missing.
Oh, it's missing. Sorry. Scooters are dangerous, though. Hey, let's keep it going. Your
I
sound.
do like scooters. I get the Lime scooters in DC.
Yeah.
They're kind of fun.
You have an e-bike as well. Your soundbite of the week comes from Kendrick Perkins,
Don't you besmirch my e-bike.
live on ESPN. Here it is, Luke.
Well done.
You ready for this one?
Oh, God.
What
okay.
you need ibuprofen for when you have a perk?
The lean back.
Why is he on TV?
Dude, that was a bold move.
Why is he on TV?
All right, Luke, it's time to rate that tat. 1 to 10. 10 is a great tattoo. 0 sucks. Okay, let's
you said
start
1
off.
to 10, then told me I could rate it 0. Okay.
If it sucks, this is a Brazilian soccer fan getting his home team's uniform.
I saw this
for life.
This is a negative 8 billion out of 10.
Okay,
It's the worst fucking idea imaginable.
okay. The idea is a minus 86, but what about the execution? You give it like a 4?
I mean, it's decently saturated, I suppose, but it doesn't look like a t-shirt. You just look like the worst fucking tattoo imaginable.
Okay, well, let's grade this next one. If you're a big Dustin Poirier fan, then you'd probably get this one, Luke, of his hot sauce bottle.
6 and
Okay.
a half. 6.5.
You don't hate it though. Notice you
I don't hate it. It's actually given the artistic style that it is, it's decently executed.
All right, LA Doyers are in the World Series. Luke, check out this guy's head. Dodgers on the dome, brother. Look at the Raiders on the top, too.
Yeah, how many times has he been thrown out of this stadium for fist fighting?
But look, the execution, the quality of the marksmanship.
The line work is kind of shit, and it's terrible placement. 4.
Okay, all right, take that, Dodgers. Luke, let's get into John Jones and Hasbulla. First, we'll watch how it
Tukey
started.
wanted to watch Shohei Ohtani because everyone at school was
Yes,
talking about him.
yes.
And then he struck out like 3 fucking times in the game I showed him.
What a fraud. First, you had a little living room action with Hasbulla and John Jones.
Oh, this is the video?
This is the setup video.
Dude, is he kicking him in the fucking head, Shogun
Yeah,
style?
they just fought the whole time. And then he does like the Mike Tyson bit where he picks him up like a child.
Is he going to throw him in the garbage or something?
So people were like, okay.
Was that Kid Rock's, was that Joey C?
Yeah, R.I.P. in the shoebox. Now, Luke, that's weird enough, okay? It got real weird.
Okay, this is the one that apparently everyone's talking about?
Shh, just talking about Shaft. John Jones's Shaft. Here we go, Luke.
I don't see anything. Okay.
Boner police have arrived. Luke, your verdict?
He might be guilty as charged.
Oh, my God. What the? Long Island Luke, what is that?
Better lock him up.
I don't know what the fuck.
Yo, look, he's nodding. Look. He's like, I know. I get it.
He had a has boner, didn't he? Look, yeah, he did. Wow, okay. All right, here's your catch of the week in baseball.
That's something. Oh,
wow.
Sweet chin music, huh?
Yeah. Wow. Maybe get your hands up, guy. Okay, this week in football, Luke, first, the Bud Crawford World Tour is fun. Here's him at a Packers tailgate.
I like the number. 420. I know it's 42 now, I'm saying.
Get after it, bud.
Okay, that's kind of cool, actually.
It's awesome.
That's fucking great. Showing up to a Packers tailgate and playing with a I guess that's mariachi-ish
It is
kind of music.
mariachi-ish. Cam Newton was at a college football game for ESPN. He raced the mascots, and then it almost got physical. Tell me if you...
Who did?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam Newton. Why does Cam Newton dress like a George Washington clone from the 1700s?
Look at his face coming up. He's like, don't fuck with me. That was interesting.
Okay.
And
Cam Newton's interesting but weird.
You don't usually say good hands on a referee, but watch this interception here.
Oh, nice catch. Oh.
no.
He picked him off.
I mean, what is he supposed to do? Get out of the way, right? That's what he's supposed to do.
I'm not sure what happens when the referee catches the fucking ball. I've never seen that. So.
Luke, you also know what happens when we go to regional MMA, right?
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Watch this cameraman closely.
Have a spill,
Gotta
fella.
get seatbelted in next time. Let's go to these women fighting. Watch this front kick.
That's a roundhouse, but still, yeah. Or a round kick anyway.
Delivered straight up now. Tell me. Wow. Let's head to some fat boxers. You sent me this one, Luke. An incredible piece of business here.
Oh, this is great. Did I send this one? Oh, yes, I did. Hey, look, he's teabagging him.
Yes, he is.
He's teabagging.
John, put Hasbulla down. This is getting weird. Please.
Come here.
Please. Luke, let's go to the ice. I never saw this before in a kid's game. Maybe I don't watch enough youth hockey, but this turned into a real one.
Is that my imagination, or am I reading the Cyrillic alphabet in the background? In which case, this is Russia, or some version of it.
Yeah, they get after it. Look at this.
Dude, these kids are like 7, and they're fucking brawling it's Lord of the Flies.
Just like they're heroes, Luke, okay?
Look at the referee. Look at the referee.
Yeah, they're just like, it happens all the time. Let them figure it out.
We just facilitate youth violence.
Union contract says we must watch from a distance. Okay, Luke, new segment alert. Okay, you rate that tat 1 to 10. Now a new one called Rate That Shitter. 1 to 10 on 10 being I want to shit there.
This might be the greatest segment we've ever come up with. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Number 1, poop with a view. Where are you going?
Solid 8.
Yeah, that is a solid 8. That's a great view. Wow. All right, let's go out to the high seas here, Luke. The boat toilet. You don't have to deal with it. It's gone. The piranhas get it. You know?
5.
Okay. All right. You ever hear of a mouth toilet, Luke?
Hold on, quick, BC. We're missing another one here.
You're missing the mouth toilet? I mean, are you kidding me?
We're missing C. I think Mikey hit you up about it.
Yeah, and I responded with the video.
I don't know.
Can we just take a dump in your mouth instead?
Okay. Here's our final one, Luke. I don't know what model car this is, but I think the Thomases have an upgrade coming.
Well, it's a 10 out of 10 right here. I mean, this is...
Where does it go, though?
Oh, but this is AI?
Yeah, I got AI, but I had to show you it.
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10.
That's the future, right?
AI understands me.
It really does. All right, let's see if you understand. Celine, she's back, Luke. Your thoughts? Imagine living with her. You never know what you're touching.
I'm going to find this person.
Are we getting AI'd in these videos, or is this real?
I don't understand why she has to eat the weirdest things in the house.
Yeah, I hope she gets a little weird.
All right, the coffee mug, yeah, and then you're going to eat. Dude, she eats furniture
Like
and
if she wants to go
electronics.
OnlyFans, we'd subscribe as a show.
Yeah,
right?
eat the TV. Eat the TV.
It's content. Yeah, it's content.
She's just so fucking weird. You're awful. You're an awful person.
Okay, Luke, do you ever wonder what the difference is between me and Conor McGregor?
$600 million?
This video.
Some of you guys do cocaine. I do glizzies. Woo!
Feel great. The guy died later after.
Yeah, he's got a life expectancy of Thursday.
All right, let's shut it down with a round of Would You Eat, Luke. It's a simple yes or a no. First, new Costco hack breaking through. So you rip the cheese off the pizza.
Which, by the way, their pizzas are very cheesy. I've noticed
Very
this.
cheesy. You wrap the glizzy in the cheese.
Put it back in the bun.
Yes. You going for that? Would you eat?
Yes, I would eat that.
Damn right I would. That's genius right there.
That's actually pretty
Wow.
good. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next one. New morning breakfast idea for Tukes.
Baja Blast, shit your fucking pants.
Baja Blast cereal.
I mean, does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I'm eating this.
All right, here's the last one. I think they call it a stick and chips, Luke.
Do I eat it with a knife or just go for it? What is that? What am I looking at? A dong?
Yeah.
Well, is the dong tasty?
Survey says yes. That's your shit of the week. What do you? I gotta get a grade here.
That's an A-.
All right.
And they robbed you apparently of a couple of gems.
Yeah, I did get robbed.
This was much better than last week.
The mouth toilet would have been tremendous. Thank you very much. That's our show. We got to get out of here. Hope you enjoyed our recap. We'll be back Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern.
What are we going to talk about on Friday, dude?
Of course, David Onama versus Steve Garcia inside the Apex.
Banger
brother.
Apex card.
Brother. And then maybe I'll create some fun segments. We haven't played in a while. What's that new one called, Long Island Luke?
Arrange-toi.
How about Arrange-toi on Friday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's what you get. Follow us at the handles below. Thank you very much. Enjoy our YouTube channels. I'm sure there's spin-off content there. Just waiting for you. Thank you to Long Island Luke for producing. Check out the Main Card Minute. Anything you want to tell them about your life?
No, just check it out. Thank you.
All right. For Nadir and Ken in the back, yeah, thank you so much. And for LT, morningkombat.shop, yeah, get your Christmas presents now, okay? Final chance to get the October exclusives before you find out what's coming next month. Do we even know what's coming next month? I'm not even sure, but we're going to be the first that find out, okay? That's it. I don't have anything else, really.
Close it.
We out.